Welcome to an all-new episode of GVN Sports, the show where we bring you our love for all things football and basketball, because for me, baseball doesn't exist anymore. All right, let me introduce our panel before we get right into it.
Yikes.
Starting off with DIdge. What's up, DIdge?
Oh, not much. Ready to talk some sports.
All right, man. What's up, Joel?
What up? Good day. Good weekend.
Absolutely. And Prime, I have you on a minutes restriction tonight. Anytime you utter the words... No, I'm sorry. Anytime you utter words that have the letters A or B, I'm going to go ahead and mute you, just in case you might think about saying a certain baseball team's name. Okay? Just go ahead and let you know that right now. Minutes restriction for you when it comes to baseball. But everything else, we all good. But all right, let's jump right into it. I want to start off with basketball. And I'm going to start off with you, Prime. I want to start off with basketball. We were all saying we were going to watch that Redeem Team doc that dropped on Netflix. That opened my eyes for a lot because 2008, I think I was probably 13, 14, and I just remember watching USA win the gold. So for me, the whole story and everything behind it, I either just didn't give a shit or I didn't know. So it was good. No, it's usually either one. It's usually never both. It's never both. I either didn't care or I just didn't know. But for me, first of all, I didn't know Doug Collins back in the day. They got robbed in the Olympics. That shit was wild when they came out and was like, no, put a few more seconds on the clock. And then that was wild. And then seeing Allen Iverson and those guys get their ass whooped, was an eye opener for me because you always look at the talent we had and go, there's never a time where anybody should be better than us. If you're telling me Prime Iverson is out there with those guys. And then seeing LeBron, Wade, and Melo talk about not really getting minutes their first year playing for the Olympic team. And obviously, DIdge, you were saying this when we were watching the trailer that it's going to be a lot of emotional Kobe moments. And damn, did they hit you right in the feels, man. Doug Collins couldn't even finish his sentence when he was talking about, he brought out the photo not too long ago and he's standing right next to Kobe. It was just really beautiful to see all that, seeing how LeBron and Kobe were able to put their pride aside for the betterment of, Team USA, and then to see how just dominant they truly were, man. And it's so sad to know that if you're Dwayne Wade, right, Kobe had to get 2 fouls early for you to really get a lot of meaningful minutes in that championship game, but they needed all of them. So Prime, what are some of your memories of that Redeem Team run?
No, well, actually, so I'm a little bit more spectating. I never ended up watching it.
Okay.
I never ended up watching it. So, and I said I was going to, and got tied up in a bunch of other things. So, I'll probably get around to it.
You and me both. I'm not gonna leave you on the island by yourself. I had a hell of a weekend. I did not get a chance to watch it either.
Yeah,
but I know this. I know this saga.
Huh?
I know this whole saga, so we're good.
Yeah. So I'm more or less ready to get, looking forward to seeing it. But just some of the stuff I've heard, of course, about, people, a lot of stuff. People feel like if you don't have Kobe up there and to go debating after seeing some of the things that comes out in this doc, you should. Some of the talk about even people who don't like LeBron,
right,
may get a different feel on LeBron after watching this, and just some of the other insights.
Did.
So I'm definitely looking forward to it. But yeah, I won't get into it until tomorrow. Just got tired with a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I actually just watched it today, so that I hold nothing against you guys. I literally just finished watching maybe like an hour and a half ago. And I think I fell asleep on 10 minutes of it. But anyway, no, I mean for anyone that's a naysayer to LeBron, it's definitely something that's eye-opening because as I pass it to you, DIdge, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, right? But I feel as though when Jordan was a part of the Dream Team, it was evident there was nobody on that roster or probably in the world that was better than Michael Jordan at that time of assembling those great players together. None of the like Magic and Bird were on their way out, right? Isaiah was great, but you wouldn't compare him to Michael Jordan. Barkley was always going to be.
Well, Barkley.
No. I'm sorry. Isaiah wasn't on the team
at the
right.
time.
Yeah.
Well, the way they were playing.
Wasn't.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. I meant Pippen. The way Barkley was playing during that tournament, you could argue.
Yeah.
It was
Barkley was like boys.
So the reason I bring that up, DIdge, as I pass it to you, is the reason why I give LeBron so much credit is he was for this Redeem Team, he was kind of co-piloting with Kobe in his prime, right? I think a lot of people forget 2008 Kobe was still going to the finals. Like that wasn't Kobe in 2015, 16, 17. This was 08 Kobe that was still giving the business to Dwight Howard, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce. Like, you know what I'm saying? So for LeBron, essentially to kind of just whatever the team needs me to do. I'm not here for ego. I'm not here for any of that. And then to kind of just live up to that leadership role, man. It really definitely I tell you what, DIdge, that LeBron doc when he retires might be the greatest documentary we've ever seen in sports history. Like that Michael Jordan one was phenomenal, but that LeBron one, like I know when they bring out those old footages of him in high school and shit, it's just gonna be so raw. And think about it, you never hear from his mom, you never hear from his wife. You know, by the time they do the documentary, his sons will probably be in the league. Like, so much about LeBron's doc will be fucking sick. Like, just unheard of. But anyway, so run me through your thoughts, DIdge, of that Redeem Team run.
Well, like I said, I was huge into that saga. Olympic basketball is probably my favorite Olympic sport. I don't really care too much about the Olympics in general outside of Olympics basketball. So I remember, like you were saying, you were talking about how you just remember sort of that we went to the Olympics in 08 and kicked ass. Well, I remember watching us lose in 04 to Puerto Rico. I remember just the feeling of, whoa, hold up, this isn't supposed to happen. Like, USA basketball isn't supposed to lose, especially when you have NBA players there. And then not only did we lose to Puerto Rico, we ended in bronze. So it was just, it was rough. And so I remember the lead up to that Olympics where it was, well, we need to revamp what Olympic basketball is for the U.S. And it's, we have to make sure we are a team. We're not just throwing star players at it, because that's sort of what they did for so long. And yes, it worked obviously in 92, 96, 2000. But as more and more international players were coming to the league and they're playing as a team for so long, you started to see that, well, maybe sometimes teamwork can just beat out pure talent.
Right. And
seeing that 08 team, when they came in, like they ran through obviously the Olympic preliminaries, and they were just they weren't about their ego. Like you said, it was, we're here to do this because we failed U.S. basketball. And
also, DIdge, don't forget to add, through the preliminary round, they were almost averaging 30 points per game. They were almost winning by 30 points. I'm sorry. Which is just like, God damn, what were y'all like? What were y'all as opponents doing out there that we were almost finishing games by like 30 points?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, this time they legit put together a team. They like I said, they didn't just say, hey, we're gonna go out here and just put some shit up together because we know y'all are all talented. Right. They, like you said, they were practicing. They were going through this, putting it together, having that having that team bonding to be like, we need to fucking win this, and we have to win this convincingly because we have to show them what U.S. basketball is. And there were so many people who I was kind of fans of, and then watching that Olympic run, because I don't know if you remember, ESPN did a whole lead up to this before that Olympics. So they were going through the preparation of the Olympics before that. So there were so many people who I just became so much bigger fans of, and was just like during that whole run, because you were talking to them and how much it meant for them. It may not have been for the country as the United States or whatever, but it meant pride as USA basketball to be like, y'all lost in 2004. We got to bring this back.
Right. And we got to give major props to Jerry Colangelo. That was his first year. Coach K, that was his first year. And they came in and they gave him the business, man. But Didge, before I pass it to Joel, you and Prime can talk on this, because I think this was probably the talk of the entire basketball Olympics that year. Kobe Bryant running through Pau Gasol's chest the first time they played. And Pau kind of just laying there on the ground like, the fuck is wrong with this guy? And they talked about it in the doc, and LeBron and them were like, Kobe just comes to us in practice and is like, yo, I'm going to set the tone. And they're like, okay, what's up? What do you want to do? And he's like, first play of the game, I'm going to run through Pau's chest. And LeBron said he was, a bunch of them got together and was like, he's so full of shit, yo. He's not, that's his teammate. He's not about to run through his chest and hurt him. And LeBron's like, I'll be damned. First play of the game, he ran through his ass like a linebacker. He said, we just remember going, okay, yeah, it's on. Melo was like, yeah, that's that shit I like. All right, let's do this. So I'll start with you, Didge, and I'll go to you, Prime, before I pass to Joel. But run me through your thoughts, Didge, of just seeing the competitive fire of Kobe, of how badly he wanted this and wanted to bring USA back to where they belong.
It's what we knew of Kobe in general already.
Right.
Like, we knew Kobe was a competitor. We knew that he was crazy about it when he needed to win. So it was like, it didn't surprise me too much, but on some level you are like, whoa, you do got to go back to the season after this. I'm like, he's a major part of your Lakers team. Like, I get it. I definitely understand. Like, you want to win this, but y'all are trying to win the championship as the Lakers. You know that, right? Like,
right.
It was crazy to see. Like I said, you know how competitive he is, but to see it amped up even more was just it was great. I remember that Olympic run so fondly. Right.
And Prime, the crazier part was Pau Gasol was talking about the fact that before they played, Kobe went out to his hood with the team there, and he was like, I think Kobe did that to kind of psych out the team a little bit, to where it's like, it's cool and all, but why the fuck is he here? Like, why is Kobe Bryant here right now? And LeBron was like, when Kobe came back to us, he was like, I know what they're gonna run. I know they're gonna end it with Pau Gasol. Like, Kobe came back like he went full Spygate. He was like, yeah, I know exactly what they're gonna do, and I got it. You know what I'm saying? And he lived up to it. First play, ran right through his chest. To me, it's just like, the more they talk about Kobe, the more it's just like, for a lot of us kids, we really feel like we didn't miss anything when we grew up on Kobe. You know how like some people are like, no, but you didn't understand Jordan. And it's like, no, I didn't, but I did grow up with Kobe. And I kind of feel like I did not miss a beat. Like, I kind of feel like it's not a major drop off between the two. You know what I'm saying? But walk me through that that mom mentality we saw Kobe go through, Prime, on that Olympic run.
Well, I think when you hear his teammates say it, well, I understand that a lot of people said that he had already told him he had planned to make a statement.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, we teammate, we boys, but in this thing, man, we got something to prove here, and I'm not only do I want, I'm going to get it.
Right.
So yeah, him running up on him and really putting it in his chest hard and putting him down like that. That's Kobe, man. That's what everything we were hearing about Kobe, we saw then. Then now it makes all the stories we hear later about Kobe, it's not that far fetched. We get it. We get it.
Right.
So especially like I said, the first time I heard that they said that some of the players were talking about that he had already planned that he was going so he was going to do something like that. It just so happened it lined up perfectly for what he wanted to do. It's just Kobe, man, and that's great, man.
Absolutely. It's just like I said, it's just so crazy, man. The work ethic he had, and the drive and the determination and the pure I'm just fucking better than you that he carried was just ridiculous. But Joel, the question I wanted to pose to you was I probably got the most enjoyment out of this part of the doc was when they said they were playing Argentina, right? And in playing Argentina, the talk of the town was Manu Ginobili might be the second best shooting guard in all of basketball, right? So it was the hype of Ginobili, the sensation of Ginobili about to play Argentina. And Dwayne Wade said, Coach K brought them together one day before the end of practice and played like a sizzle reel of just Manu Ginobili. And Melo was like, he remembers telling Coach K, like, turn this shit off. We don't fucking want to watch Manu Ginobili. Like, get this shit off, man. Ain't nobody worried. And then, they're like, yo, we just want to play the game. And Dwayne Wade said what Coach K did to trigger Dwayne Wade was he put photos of all the talk of Manu Ginobili in their seats right before game. And Dwayne Wade said his specific cutout for Ginobili that Coach K put there was Ginobili being possibly the second best shooting guard. And Dwayne Wade said, no. I'll give you Kobe. Ain't no fucking way I'm giving you Manu Ginobili's better than me. No way at all. So he said it gave him a drive, and then they said Kobe just walked in the room and said, guys, I know everybody saw it. I know everybody heard about Ginobili. I'm guarding him tonight. They were just like, oh, shit. Okay. But they were saying how disappointed they were. Ginobili got an ankle injury and didn't come back into the game. They ended up winning, but didn't get a chance to actually showcase that he ain't shit, right? Like, he ain't a concern of ours. And they were saying that Ginobili being injured almost lost USA the game because Argentina weirdly played better without him. And the USA kind of was caught off guard. So it was just hearing stories like that of them.
They won that game by 20, which is like, it's wild.
No. No. So like towards the end of the fourth quarter, it was essentially almost neck and neck. And then they just pulled out because obviously they're just tremendously better. But just hearing stories like that, Joel, that shit just sounds like it was so much fun for them to have been part of that together, and to go through that. Do you have any memories of watching that run of 2008?
Yeah, I definitely remember. I do want to see the documentary because like I remember it fondly, like this. I remember sitting there because I do remember that the terrible bronze medal that should have never happened, and it's like one of those weird like how does that happen? And then that's when you let your guard down,
right?
And you slept on Manu Ginobili. You know what I mean? That's what happened. Because you thought you were better than everyone. You came in thinking you're better than everyone, and you got beat. So Coach K made sure that was not going to be the case this go around. Mm-hmm. And that's why the Redeem team succeeded where the last team didn't, is because they came in prepared mentally. They had people that were ready to tear it down. Right. Starting with Kobe Bryant, and you had Jason Kidd and Melo and LeBron and Dwight Howard. And then they had, like what Didge was saying, like role players. Not role players, because on their teams they were stars, but I'm saying like Tayshaun Prince and Michael Redd, no offense, they're not the other guy or Boozer. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They were, but on this team, they were role players, and they played their role obviously really well. Right. That it was a hell of a run. It really was. I remember it, but it's been so long. Like I only remember certain things. I just remember that the assembling of the team and me questioning why they brought in Tayshaun Prince. Like, there's so many, but I understood after the fact. But in the beginning, I was like, I did what? I get it now. It was just more about. It's not about getting the best talent. It's about sometimes you just need a glue guy. You know, you need glue guy, and there's always at least one or two nowadays in there, and it's not just overpowering the other team with your talent. You know what I mean?
Right. I was mainly confused on the idea that I was looking at the fact that, and again, it worked out, so who cares? But they had Darren Williams, Jason Kidd, and Chris Paul.
Yeah,
one of them was not needed. You only needed two of them, knowing that Dwayne Wade, LeBron, and Kobe Bryant could also be ball handlers. Yeah. So it's like, what was Darren Williams there for? But he did serve a purpose. You know what I'm saying? So it goes to what you were saying of like, might be a role player here, but going back, Darren Williams could get you 30. Like Darren Williams.
At the time, Darren Williams.
Yeah, at the time.
Not at all. Same not at all. Like you said, definitely same with Michael Redd. He was. Yep. He was guaranteed
sniper
to get you at least 20.
Yeah.
Like
that is very true, and it's so funny.
Was the fifth man of that team, but no slouch.
No, not at all. Not at all. And it's so funny because in watching this, it reminded me of one of my favorite players. Because it's so funny because if I wasn't a Knicks fan, I would have been a Trailblazers fan. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. But I was a massive Rudy Fernandez fan. A fucking massive Rudy Fernandez fan. I fucking loved Rudy Fernandez. Right. There was nothing you could tell me about that Trailblazers team. There was just fucking nothing. Brandon Roy and those guys, there was just nothing you could tell me about those guys. I loved that team with all my heart. So watching him not light it up, but put on somewhat of a show in the Olympics that year. I was very proud of him.
Competition for sure at the time.
Say it again, Joel.
So Spain was their biggest competition.
Right. Right. And it's so crazy because when you watch that year, right, it's the idea that not a lot of those players were truly in their prime yet. Right? That's why if you're watching Team USA and you're looking at them and you're like, all right, we can maybe catch up. And it's like, no, because what's scary is LeBron's not even in his prime yet. Wade's not fully in his prime yet. Melo's not fully in his prime yet. They're just as good now. Yeah. So it's like 4 years after that when they had to play again and you saw them at their apex, it was just nothing you could conceivably try to do. Because remember, at that point, it was heading towards Kobe's end, so Kobe was doing less. LeBron, Wade, and Melo were doing more. I mean, Melo developed Olympic Melo at that point. So it was just like the rest of the world. I tell you what, the rest of the world has to be feeling better today, right? Where you can go, Luka, that ain't American. Giannis, that ain't American. And you just look around and you're like, a lot of these transcendent players in the league today ain't American, right? And what's scary about that is, go ahead.
They're also not all in the same country. So
no, not at all.
Yeah, there are a lot of transcendent players that ain't American.
Let's just stick with 2008, right? There were no superstars representing other countries. You could say, if you want to make an argument, Pau Gasol was a star or an all-star, sure. But we're talking about today, Giannis, Jokic, Luka, like that's different. That's different. You know what I'm saying? And I think
Dirk.
You wouldn't think 2 years ago all of those players represented their countries, and the U.S. still ran away with it.
Yes, because I don't think they played. I don't think a lot of them played.
Who?
Did Giannis play when we
didn't make it? Their countries didn't qualify.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Good point.
It's that point of, yes, there are transcendent players, but it's still the concentration of so many that are here.
It's so much in this one country. Now we're talking about Europe as a continent. They can hold up, but not individual countries.
I get what you're saying. Well, what I was about to say, and that's a great point. Thank you, Didge. What I was about to say was, it is a little scary knowing that very soon it'll be a youth movement for us, right? Like Durant won't be here forever. LeBron's on his way out, right? Curry's not gonna be here forever. He might be on his way out like LeBron. So then you go, well, damn, how much do we trust our Jason Tatums and guys like that?
Well, LeBron and Curry weren't on the 2020 team.
Who?
No, they weren't. But Durant was, and Durant led us essentially. He essentially led us.
His first year with Brooklyn.
But Dame and those guys, they were struggling, man. They were struggling till Durant had to come in and just essentially. And I hate giving him credit, But Durant came in and was just like, you know what? Just get on my fucking back. I got this, guys. We're not losing. We're not losing. Because we saw USA take a step back when they did FIBA that one year. It's just like, God damn, we have actual really good players. How are y'all fucking this up? You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's going to be really interesting to see who steps up as the de facto leader for this youth movement going forward. That's going to be very exciting to see.
That's a good question.
Yeah, because right now, I don't know. I don't know who would be the scholar of all the young kids right now. I have no idea.
Options, but yeah, that's a good question.
You might have to try to hang on to one of these old players.
Maybe
a little bit.
I mean, you can hang around. I mean, shoot, Jason Kidd was in his mid-30s back then.
Right.
Jason was old too, yeah.
Right, yeah, 100%.
What was he, like 34, 35 when he was on that team?
Yeah.
He was on that team? Probably.
Yeah.
I know.
And the biggest thing comes down to, like, let's say LeBron's still in the league when it comes back around. Because it's coming back around. No, soon.
They'll probably start doing. They'll probably start doing at least Olympic trials and stuff next year because you figure
right,
2024.
Right.
Well, this year, this year was just the continent or whatever.
Yeah.
The question will be.
I'm thinking about the World Cup. Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. The question will be, if LeBron's still playing, will he even want to go?
I don't think
you know
he
what
will.
I'm saying.
I don't think he will.
That's what I'm saying.
He should. Honestly.
I mean,
fuck that. If you can still play, go.
I don't think he or Durant. I think it's time for the new generation to start.
I couldn't see it. The fact since he didn't want to this year, he withdrew this year.
He did. I will say this though:
if his son wants to go,
y'all can go. No. If y'all can go, you know what? No, you know what? I might back you with that. Hell yeah, let Bronny and him go.
Let Bronny say he wants to do it. He might.
You know what? Time out. You know what? You know what we might have to do, Didge? Just so we can hold off on the talent we have now, right? Because we don't know who the leader would be yet. Maybe we let the sons of the leaders we do have go out there and play. Let Cayenne go out there and play. Let Bronny go out there and play. Because maybe their dads will go with them, right? And it's like, all right, we can hold on to this for another for another gold medal, and then worry about it 4 years from now. Maybe Bronny will live up to being his dad, and that's the guy we can depend on going forward. But no, I mean, so it's just really interesting because it's way more spread out now than ever before. But like you said, Didge, you still have to make it in there and get in there. But if they do,
I'll get invited.
I don't know, man. I don't know how if what is it, Greece? Where the fuck is Giannis from? Greece?
Greece?
Yeah, Greece, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, it is Greek freak, right? Yeah, okay.
Bro,
Lithuania for Luka, like
deep too.
They get in there, bro. You kind of got to look at it like and shit. Look at what France just did.
Yeah, France.
So it's
now France, I can understand. France, Spain, I can understand. Australia, they have a lot of. They got a lot of concentrated.
Spain's not even got any good players that I can. Not great players, and they still
right. No, I know.
Think about that.
And don't forget, Didge, you were just saying Australia. Don't leave out the greatest non-3-point shooter we've ever had in NBA history, Ben Simmons. When he gets out there, he might shut shit down.
He gets out there.
he might tank Australia.
Hey, that's what we need, Didge. Be quiet. That's what we need. We need him to tank him. But no, this is just no. Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying. Look at the centers in our league. Like of the top 10 centers, if you in the top of my head, I can think. They're mostly international.
Yeah, and Jokic.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's wild. So it's gonna be interesting in 2024 to see how that all shapes out and to see who we send out, and see who wants to step up to the challenge. Because I believe anybody that's young that doesn't want to do it just doesn't want the burden of shouldering an entire country, and I'll look at them differently.
I'm gonna definitely take a guess at who's
probably Ja.
But see, I'll say this, Joel. What's hard about that is remember, a lot of these kids fall back on the whole mental thing of like, nah, mentally I just want to take the summer off, get right, blah blah blah.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't think a lot of these kids have it for USA, Joel. I really don't. I mean, shit, not the way they played till Durant got there. They damn sure didn't. There was no pride being displayed out there. Motherfuckers was looking horrible.
I don't know, man. Tatum might decide to go on a summer tour with LMA. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. We might not be able to depend on
I
Tatum.
don't blame him. I'm just saying.
Goodness gracious. And look, it's even worse, Prime? Jaylen Brown is dating her. So he might be on tour with her while Jason's on there with LMA. We might not have them. You know what I'm saying? And that hurts, Yeah, and look, Jordan Poole's his jaw might not have been fixed by that time. You know what I'm saying? We might have to miss out on one of the Splash Boys. Edward. It's just a lot, It's a lot. They got options. They got options. We definitely do. I just can't wait to see who steps up to the plate. It ends up being that guy that I know going forward. That's the guy I can trust, right? So when all thing fails, he's got it. Who knows? Maybe Kyrie might, might say, "Hey, if I don't need a shot, I'll do it." Like, I don't need no shots.
He had his moment, so
I'm there. Hey, Joel, I'm telling you right now, I sell my soul to win gold. Okay, so I don't give a fuck about whatever I think about.
We've done it many times without Kyrie.
Slovenia got put out by Poland in the Eurobasket. I ain't worried about them.
All right, you say that.
They got put out by Poland. I ain't worried about them.
You say that so one of the players comes out and doesn't wear a shirt and he just balls. I fought the bear.
Luka Doncic balled out. The rest of the team was blood.
Yeah, I mean all they have is Luka and they got with the Goran, but Goran's old now.
I don't even know if he played in the Eurobasket.
If he did, probably not much. Or I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about it, guys. We didn't get to talk about it on air because it happened while we were off air. But Jordan Poole, Draymond. Do we see one of them ended up being put out, or do we think this is much to do about nothing? Hashtags at Me and Joel Show. But Ditch, I'll go to you first. Do you think this is us making a big deal about nothing, or could this maybe be the seeds of how Jordan Poole goes to the Knicks? What are your thoughts?
To the Bucks, you mean? No, I think Draymond's going to be the one.
No, I said it the right way. Oh, Draymond's going to the Bucks? Oh, I'm fine with that.
No.
No. You said it. No, you said it. You said it. You said I believe Draymond will be the one to go to the Bucks. I agree.
I did not. Jordan Poole can easily come to the Bucks. Bring our sons back home.
I get you. Trade Giannis. You can have Jordan Poole.
No, we're not trading Giannis.
All right, then you can't have him.
No,
see, that's what I'm saying. See, you're not willing to make the sacrifices. Me, Joel, and Prime.
You trade RJ Barrett?
No, but see, that's the difference. Time out. No. Time out. Hear me out. Here's the difference.
Rihanna?
Your superstar is Giannis. Our superstar is Julius Randle. We will gladly give up Julius Randle.
Fair compensation.
See,
fair compensation. We'll give up Julius Randle right now as we're talking.
Speaking of RJ, Team Canada, if they put their shit together, they're gonna be good.
Especially with how Wiggins is playing.
They have Shea.
I don't know why they don't do better.
Because I think they're still growing. And look, Wiggins just hit a not growth spurt as far as height, but growth spurt as far as a player last year, right? Yeah. RJ hit a growth spurt as a player last year. You look at Shea. Shea's just looking the ball wherever he can ball. He don't care. Murray, here, overseas, don't matter. Right. Jamal Murray. So I think a lot of these kids have grown. So now they're ready, DIdge. So I think you'll see a lot out of them next go around as opposed to before. They were still growing. Because remember, we were looking at Wiggins as like an ancillary role player. Now that motherfucker has solidified himself as a bona fide starter, right? To where you look at him and you're like, you could be an all-star. If you play like that, you could be a perennial. No, but I'm saying going forward, you could be a perennial all-star. Right. Gotcha. So a lot of these kids have just grown, and I think it'll showcase this season heading into the next Olympics. But DIdge, how are you looking at this Draymond and Jordan Poole situation?
I don't think anybody will get traded in the short term because I think this is Draymond's last year under contract anyway. So I think they forced them to like, hey, y'all need to talk it out. We're going to work this out for this year for the betterment of the team. But if Draymond had any hope of getting a max after the season, which I don't think he should have been in the first place, it went up in flames right there. And he who's to say, depending on what Poole does this year, depending on what the team does this year, I could see that being Draymond's way out. Where it's, we're going to try to do this one last ride, but you got a lot to make up for. And that's about it.
It'll be real interesting because we saw Steph Curry is on a I can do it without you tour, right? Last year was I can do it without Durant, right? And look, they've never won a championship without Draymond. I'm very curious to see if they can. I'm not saying Draymond is the best player, but he's damn sure the most important player. Whatever the fuck that man brings to that locker room works. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. It just works. It does. So for me, it's like, I didn't think Draymond was going to be overpaid if he was re-signing Golden State. I think if you told me Minnesota wanted to sign Draymond for the kind of money he was thinking, I would tell you they're fucking idiots, right? Because he won't mean to your locker room what he's meant to Golden State all this time. Or he won't mean right away. So for me, I'm like, if Golden State kept him, remember, this is the same Golden State that's been employing Andre Iguodala well past his fucking prime. So I'm like, clearly they don't have a problem paying their own.
Not like they're paying him a lot, though.
No, not at all. But the fact that he's getting any money.
Yeah, Draymond wants money.
Draymond wants a max.
Like he averaging 30. Shit.
Now, mind you, DIdge, and this is not comparable, so I'm not comparing the two. But Andre Iguodala is being paid money, and that motherfucker dribbled not one basketball last year. So it's like, for me, Draymond means a lot more. So I'm like, again, is it overpaid if he were going somewhere else? Yes, but Draymond, to stay there for what he means to them?
Made $2.9 million last year.
That's too much. That's too much.
He ain't needed them.
Wait, time out. But here's the crazy part. How much did Jordan Poole make last year?
I'm gonna check that after I look at the Draymond Max thing. I already moved to Draymond Max. So
gotcha. Okay, let's stick in Draymond Max. Okay, go ahead.
It's like I moved on.
$25.8 million.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, they won the
championship. That's a $23 million difference.
Hey, and if I told you that I was paying somebody like Draymond that much money and a championship came out of it, I'd feel as though that was worth it.
You don't, but you don't think that the $3 million essentially that Iguodala, you don't think that was worth it?
What did he do?
He was the same, damn near the same shit that Draymond did. Draymond wasn't out there.
They always say, DIdge, a lot of what Draymond does isn't what you see on the floor necessarily. It's everywhere else of what Draymond gives you.
You don't think Iguodala's doing the same?
I think I don't need to be paying two motherfuckers to do pep talks. The fuck? We ain't had no pep rally. I'm gonna pay two of y'all motherfuckers to do this.
Him a lot. He's a lot. At this point, he's just a presence.
No, Joe. I'm joking. I get what you're saying. I'm just joking.
I was like, "Where are you?"
Retired, right?
Say it again.
Didn't he announce?
No, he said this is the last year.
I thought he said he's doing one more.
He said this is the last year. Yeah,
right.
he said he told Curry he'll give him one more year and then retire.
But Poole made $2.1 million last year, by the way.
Yeah, all right, cool. So then, yeah, that tells you everything you need to know. Their contracts are almost comparable, and one was clearly way more valuable than the other. Way more.
Draymond, again, do we have to go back to Draymond? What he made?
Yeah, let's go back.
Like, what are we talking about, man?
Again, importance. It matters. It just does. Sorry.
Okay.
Hey, Didge, we've been paying Matthew Slater for 97 years, and that motherfucker just makes sure that no one returns kicks. So, and you can make a case he's been overpaid. So I'm just saying, sometimes that leadership role matters. That's all I'm saying. But you see Draymond on the outs come into the season. So you don't think they'll try to figure out a way to offload him by the trade deadline?
I think they try to see if they can run it. Try to see how much they can run it through the season. If they can let this, let the fires die down, and they can make a good run. But I think this is it.
So wait, let me ask you this. How do you justify not re-signing him if you do run it all the way back?
If you win a championship?
Yeah.
Then you gotta tell me.
You really gotta think about it.
That's what I'm saying, because again, I get what we're saying, Didge, and I get what you're saying, right? I 100% understand what you're saying. I'm saying, as somebody on the outside looking in, I don't know what Draymond brings that's so valuable, But when you listen to them talk about Draymond, you would think this motherfucker's averaging 30, 40, and 50 every game, right? Like, he's just going out there like Shaq, right? So whatever he's offering them has catapulted them to their championships. So for me, it's like whatever he brings to them is extremely valuable. Or they would have offloaded him a long time ago, right? Because it's not like you're offering me points or anything.
I should preface it, to be fair, I thought Draymond was out after the season regardless, before this whole thing happened. So don't let my statements be like, oh, because he pushed from a
No, I get you.
I thought Draymond was out of here a while ago.
I get you.
He clearly wants to go to LA.
Why does everyone keep saying that?
Because Draymond and LeBron are best
friends. They boys.
Okay, time out. Because right now you're pulling a sports equivalent of a Trayvon. I'm just curious how you're connecting those dots. Like, what makes you think he wouldn't stay in Golden State? He
talks about how fun it would be to play with LeBron.
LeBron always talks about how much fun it would be to play with Curry and just re-signed in LA.
But you know, but the problem with that is, as we hear about all the time these fights and stuff that go on, and you hear players come back and talk about, oh, well, y'all just saying this, but it happens all the time.
Right.
So does talk happen amongst NBA players all the time. And we've already heard a couple of people who kind of put that out there. You know, these guys are together in the off season and doing trips or at camps or whatever. The whole talk gets around. Let's get around. So I don't think, that leaking out there, and I think what Trey Young said, and it was somebody else that they hinted before then.
Right.
I think there's some truth to it.
All right, I'm just saying, I want y'all to remember, there's a lot of fucking talk Kyrie and KD would end up on the Knicks, and that shit didn't happen.
Not for players.
Yes, for players. Yes, everybody said, "Oh, we knew they wanted to go to New York." I guess they just didn't know which one. They just didn't know which one.
I thought they did go to New York.
No, they went to the New Jersey.
Damn, Brooklyn not in New York no more.
Not if you let me tell it. Motherfuckers been residing in New Jersey for forever now. But no, I don't think anything you said was false, Didge. I think he's probably on his way out. Whether they win a ring or not, I think he's on his way out, because if he doesn't win a ring, his price we already think is too high. If he does win a ring, his price will be astronomically high. So for me, it's like
it'll be high, but if it depends on how he does during that run too. It's not just like if he kind of like he's not been shooting well. Really the standout at the end of that game was Wiggins stood out more.
Right, but I don't think his numbers will ever grow. I think they'll either stay the same or get worse. And that's why
they are struggling to find the price that fits.
I mean,
you guys are mad. So what if they go through this whole thing and elect not to sign him? Or that means or elect not to give him the max. Let's just say that. And you talk about
they want to pay him, they just don't want to give him the max.
They can't afford to give him the
max.
They
have so many people to pay right now.
I'm talking about with him, period. Like his feelings of this whole thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about him possibly want to go to the Lakers, whatever. Can you imagine Draymond feeling like he's been disrespected?
I will also say, because you keep saying that, Didge, and Prime, I'm going to answer your question, but I want to throw this in there. Draymond going to the Lakers, and I know we don't care because it's fuck the Lakers, but it would essentially be LeBron getting a more aggressive Russell Westbrook. You're replacing no shooting with more no shooting. And at least you could make an argument Westbrook can give you 15 to 20 a night, right?
Yeah, but he ain't gonna put you on
Draymond's gonna be very much in the middle of that.
Draymond gonna put you on the floor though.
He will, right. But if he keeps, here's the thing: how many games did Russell Westbrook get ejected from this year? I can tell you, it's nowhere near as many as Draymond.
But
so you'd rather have Russell
Draymond is still an all
Joel, it's you asking me would I want to get punched in the nuts or punched in the face? Neither one of them sound good. One just hurts a little less. So for me, I don't think
we're doing all this talk about Draymond. We got us on. He is still an all defense player.
Like, no, he has extreme value, 100%. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, right, but that's what I'm saying. He can bring value. But to me, it's like, all right, you put him next to AD and LeBron, and it's like LeBron's whole aspect is drive and kick out. When he kicks out to Draymond, What happens then?
He's not going to kick out to Draymond. Draymond's
Okay,
not there for
I
that.
keep. You're right, but I keep watching LeBron kick out to Russell Westbrook. So,
Because Russell Westbrook is supposed to be there for that.
For what? Shooting?
He's supposed to be.
All right. Well,
I think
you didn't
so.
check your own scouting reports.
I'm gonna say this though. I think it's a very good chance that Poole is going ahead and they're going to finalize it, and he's going to get that thing signed. And I won't be surprised if it's sooner than later. And that's really going to pour some because Draymond's already feeling like I'm going to have to wait until this thing is over to become a free agent. I think Poole's going to get signed. Like here,
I think so too. Soon. And it's probably going to be more than fucking Hero.
Man.
And non-figure deal for him for sure.
And Jordan Poole might have in a clause that you got to trade. You got to get rid of Draymond.
Like, then they still have to pay.
I'm resigning because you got to get rid of. No, DIdge. See, I was hoping no one said that. What? That's not an option. Wiggins is coming to the Knicks. We already know this. It's not even to be discussed. We're going to overpay for Wiggins and go win a championship. He's going to bring all that championship vigor to the Knicks.
Overpay for Wiggins?
Oh, I don't mind it. He's got a ring. I can justify that. And he could have been Finals MVP. Picture if he was, and I said that the Knicks are getting a in his prime Finals MVP. I could sell that shit up the river, Joel.
I don't know.
Now, will it equate to wins? I don't fucking know. I'm not a. I don't predict shit, but I can tell you right now, I'd feel comfortable saying we have a Finals MVP on the roster.
I don't think he's leaving Golden State. So I mean,
I can tell you he's not taking less money, and there's not many teams in the position to win.
But that's the thing. They can pay for 2 of the 3. Again,
I was gonna say
Draymond's out of here.
Nah. I need Wiggins to have like some kind of sex scandal or something. Come on, Wiggins. Come on,
you want
man.
that to happen, and then you really want him to come to New York after that?
You goddamn right. Yeah. Hey, we get his head on straight. RJ on
his youth movement, though, if nothing else, man. Like Draymond, 32 years old, man.
Awesome.
Wiggins seems like he should be 30. He's like 27. You know, and then Poole's young. So.
I just saw that, and I was like, I could have sworn Wiggins was like
this guy's like that could be in his 30. Got to be 30 at least, right? 27
Wait,
years old.
how old is Kevin Love? How old is Kevin Love? Like 32?
I don't know. Let me look.
And he's like 30.
I don't know. Ages, I don't know. I know heights.
34.
Yeah.
34? Then that's how I knew Andrew Wiggins wasn't 30 yet. Because remember, Wiggins, the year Wiggins was drafted, Kevin Love got traded over to Cleveland. So for me, it's like
when you first think about
it reminds me his young age.
Seemed like dude, like he been in the league, man. Like, but
this is his ninth. This is gonna be his ninth season.
Yeah, it's like he been in the league about 12 years.
Yeah, that's fair.
Doesn't it?
That's fair. Yeah. But Prime, you've already gotten into it a little bit, but how are you viewing this Jordan Poole Draymond situation? Draymond's definitely out.
Yeah, I think that's always been my thought. I think that Draymond would definitely be out, even though I do agree. You do bring up a great point. It'd be crazy to see how this thing was to go if they were to actually just to win it all. They ride this thing out and they win it all, and you have to make that decision. But then again, you still might make the decision. I mean, you've won a bunch of rings already. You got some very good, young, promising players, and you'll still have a couple of your championship pieces there with you. I mean, you know, why not? So, but definitely a tougher decision if they were to win it all. But I still think that Draymond is a very good chance he's out of there. I think, like I said, I think Poole is going to get – I really believe he's going to get signed, like, soon.
Yeah,
they're going to agree to it.
To you and DIdge's point, if I'm Golden State, right, I look at Wiggins, Poole, and Draymond, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I go, if Wiggins leaves, right? Let's say he leaves in free agency, goes somewhere else. That might be something that haunts me when Curry and Clay are starting to decline, right? Obviously, same thing with Poole. Draymond leaves today. A, he's not old enough for me to think that that'll really come back to bite me in my ass. And B, he doesn't necessarily affect the stat sheet largely enough for me to go, damn, if it came to the Western Conference Championship, you know, Lakers in Golden State, Draymond's going to eat us. Like, no. So, like, to me, that it's the obvious Draymond is the odd man out because it's the one that you just don't lose any sleep over if he goes, right? You just kind of go, And well, the times were great. And you kind of piece them out, right? So for me, it's one of those things where it's like, I only would have wished he could stay for the idea of you came into this together. It's not often we see players come into it together and go out of it together. And it's always nice to see that when you can get it. So I would have been a fan of that, but if you're Golden State, like you and DIdge and Joel were saying, you're clearly going to pay Wiggins and Jordan Poole and tell Draymond to fucking kick rocks, right? Go to LA and do your movies and do Space Jam 3 with LeBron, Get
From Sacramento, Pan. You be all right.
Oh, yeah, Sacramento will pay him. He could be their new DeMarcus Cousins. Like, hey, we haven't had a big man that gets suspended and thrown out of games in a long time. You want to fill that void? No, but Joel, you usually don't make a big fuss about things like this. Was this, like we were saying before, much ado about nothing? Just two teammates, kind of just very, it's a lot going on in practice. Apparently, Poole was talking a lot of shit.
Call him triple single. That's hilarious.
I mean, that's so weird that bothers him still. When it was like Barkley was saying that shit almost religiously, and now they're like best of friends, and I'm like, I don't understand why that bothered you. You do be averaging triple singles, Draymond. Like that shit's not a lie. But how you look at this, Joel?
I do think. I mean, shit like that happens all the time. It's just now we saw it, which makes it worse.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think it's good. It's not a good look.
No,
it doesn't help his his chances of getting paid. If that's if anything, makes it worse.
Right.
And right now he's kind of feeling. I think he's feeling the pressure because he knows he's the odd man out.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Poole's 6 man right now. He could easily get put right into the starting lineup if they really wanted to. But especially if they lost Wiggins, or they don't have to. I mean, honestly, Wiggins could play power forward. Not that he should, but that he could.
He could. Right.
It's just one of those things where like it's just Draymond. He is part of their big three.
Mm-hmm.
He is. He always will be. But if they plan on extending their streak, they can't afford to pay what he wants. If he wants to stay, he's gonna have to take somewhat of a pay cut. And he is the third dude. And right now they got a young dude in Poole who can put up numbers. And they have Wiggins. It really comes down to they're going to pay Wiggins to keep Wiggins, or they're going to keep Green. Wiggins is younger, more athletic. Obviously, defending now. He's not Green. Not a lot of people are. Green's a very different type of player. You know what I mean? He really is.
To your point of him always being the third guy, we might have a sequel to 2.5 men. You might have to start calling them 3.5 men, right? Jordan Poole's the third guy and Draymond's the half. You do some stuff, so you're the half. You're there.
2.5.
Because I'm like, when Jordan Poole showed up and they started giving them like a together name, Draymond had to be like, they never gave me a name. Part of the three of these guys. And it's like, you don't shoot. It's like, oh yeah, that's true. It's like,
your shooting went down. If anything, you stopped shooting well.
Yeah, you're a puddle. You're not a splash. You're just a puddle.
You're a fucking brick.
So apparently that was a lot of what Jordan Poole was mouthing off. Was hey, I've arrived.
Sounds like a lot of sounds like somebody from Milwaukee. Milwaukee talks a lot of shit.
Do they?
Yes.
I mean, it's not like Draymond don't talk shit, so he probably deserves.
He's from Detroit. He should have been right along back. People from Detroit talk a lot of shit.
That's the whole point. Was they were talking shit.
True.
Hey, but time out. What does that say about you Milwaukeeans? That y'all talk shit and don't even expect to hit. Like he didn't see that shit coming.
He should have. Jordan Poole left Milwaukee in high school. He missed that lesson apparently because he clearly should have expected that hit.
Yeah, especially from that head case.
And by the way,
he clearly missed that. No, I'm just saying he clearly missed that lesson in Milwaukee. In Milwaukee life, I don't know what happened.
What did Jordan say to him to set him off? Well, it's as easy as they're paying me. I don't know about you, but they're paying me.
He was saying, standing there on the sidelines, who's ready for a payday? Not you, Draymond. Shut the fuck up. Andrew, we get paid, right? And Draymond was like, say it again. We getting paid, right? And he's just like, Hayukin, right to his face, man. But I'm glad it didn't knock him out because it looked like it should have. It looked like it was a lot of velocity.
It was like a lunging punch.
He looked like he turned into Roman Reigns. That was a Superman punch. That shit looked vicious. But hey, I'm glad that, it's past them. Shout out to the guy who recorded that video that will now be serving probably time in prison and sued. I hope it was worth the $30,000, $40,000 TMZ paid you. To me, I never understand that. I would never put my name on it if I was selling that shit. Never. You serious? There we go. Where am I sending the money? You're sending the money to Joel. That's who you're sending the money to.
Throw you under that.
No, he gets some of the money. That's what I'm trying to say. I just don't want it to come here. They'd be like, hey, Juwaan, was this you? No, it didn't come from me. It came from Joel. I'm not throwing him under the bus. I'm just telling the truth. But to me, I don't think this is a big deal. I think they're going to, like DIdge said, play the full season out, see how things go. But I think what makes things difficult, DIdge, is that if you even get to the Western Conference Finals or the Finals and don't win it all, you still have a claim if you're Draymond of getting paid.
No, you
now,
don't.
That doesn't mean it has to be there.
Nah. As
ahead,
the Warriors, I think you have more of a claim if you. I think you have more of a claim as the Warriors if you don't. If you make it there and don't, because you're coming off of being the defending champs. Y'all had everything. You can arguably say we had everything in our rights so that we should have repeated.
So then how can Jordan Poole still ask for a whole bunch of money? Oh, you're saying Draymond. Okay, I see what you're saying now. Yes, okay, I get you. I agree. Okay, no disagreement here. I should have let you finish. That's my fault. Because you were absolutely right. As soon as you say that, I'm like, no, DIdge is right. Because you can go, hey, we were flowing till you punched him in his fucking face, bro.
Right. We were primed.
Right. We were ready to go. You hit him in the face, and he just lost his mojo, bro. I mean, shit, we saw that. Amari Stoudemire punched a fire extinguisher and was never the same. So we get it. Same thing. Same thing. We get it. But all right, let's move on to our teams in preseason. Joel and Prime, Knicks feel as though they're picking up right where they left off 2 years ago. Last year didn't happen. Rebound year, right? This looks like we're primed for it. We're ready to go. Milwaukee be damned, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's without really seeing Fournier consistently in the starting lineup and without seeing Grimes play at all, you know? So for me, I do think what the Knicks are putting themselves in a really good position of is you're stacking the deck in case pieces need to be moved. The pieces are looking good, right? And you have that you have that shroud of secrecy over Quentin Grimes, right? To where you hyped him up all offseason as this is that motherfucker, right? This is that next Klay Thompson, right? And the motherfucker ain't played at all in preseason yet, so it's the mystery of what is Quentin Grimes, right? So you want to keep that alive in case a motherfucker needs to get traded, right? And you go, hey, come on now, Utah wanted this motherfucker for Donovan, right? You want him too, right? You know what I'm saying? So when Milwaukee calls offering up Giannis, we got the next replacement for them. You know?
Yeah, okay.
But Prime, I want to start off with you, man. How the Knicks been looking so far to you? How's this Jalen Brunson edition? Randall not having hissy fits and to want to fight referees? Like, how's this been playing out for you so far?
So far, so good. You know, you keep reminding yourself that it's just preseason, but they look damn good, especially the bench pieces. And as I mentioned before, it's going to be a shame when they have to start trimming that rotation down and we don't get to see some of these guys play as much. But it's very positive. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Jalen Brunson. He's responding to the situation, where the team's responding to him. Yep. We haven't seen Julius Randle to turn over the ball, like talking about. We haven't seen that.
Doing as much.
Yeah, that's true. And then the Obi thing, because you guys know, you hear, you know, a lot of people have different ideas about how good Obi is or how good he can be, and he's been pretty damn good. Yeah, and it's sparking the talk, especially on Knicks Twitter. These people are going off. You know, Tim's gonna be a fool. He's gonna start. You know, not gonna give him on the minutes, so they're gonna start Randall over him and blah blah blah. You know, and watch it cut his minutes. But Obi is really making a case for, like, Tibbs, I don't care, you know, what type of dude you are. You better not, like, you know, you better play me. You better play me.
Yep.
And it's not just the dunks, man. He's hustling. He's moving really well without the basketball. So it's a positive. And if this keeps it to the regular season, I just hope that Tibbs don't need to shave. Like Tibbs just needs to keep that thing just the way it is. Bearded up, maybe a little rough here and there.
I like
Let's just see what happens, man. But I'm loving what I've seen so far.
Hey, it looks like that beard is helping him learn how to properly structure lineups, distribute minutes. So it's like, hey, if this keeps your head on straight, whatever works. I'm fine with whatever gets the job done. So for me, it's like, keep doing what you're doing, man. You know what I'm saying? They look good. You're holding everybody accountable. I was saying this yesterday, Prime. I was playing 2K, and the thing that frustrated me the most was, and I can't even imagine how they're able to do it, was the idea that Derrick Rose never made it into my rotation. He was the odd man out. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't because I'm like, oh, fuck Derrick. No. It's just like, you start to go, okay, well, I'm paying Fournier way too much money to say he's the odd man out, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, he has to play. So it's like, I play quickly a lot of minutes. I'm playing Toppin a lot of minutes. Grimes a lot of minutes. You the odd man out. You know what I'm saying? And it feels dirty. So I'm very curious how this year, how you structure that. Because remember, we put a lot of pressure on Rose last year. We didn't have a de facto point guard, right? He was the point guard, right? Starting, bench. No, I'm saying before he got hurt, we put a lot of pressure of, hey, we're going to need you to play some minutes, bro. We don't got no point guard. Like, you got to do a lot for us. But now that Jalen Brunson is there, you kind of look at it like, you might have to get in where you fit in. You know what I'm saying?
Because he looks good.
He looks really good. And I'm like, hey, calm down. I don't need us getting phone calls about people wanting you. Relax. We may need you. Just calm it down a little bit. But no, I mean, and look, Brunson being there, I love how aggressive he is. I said it before. I do want to make sure that he calms it down and focuses on being more of a distributor to kind of set the table before he just goes and eats. But like Joel said, if anything, the biggest addition Jalen Brunson adds to this team is it's another person to have the ball in their hands, not named Julius Randle. You know what I'm saying? So to me, a lot of people are like, oh, you overpaid for Brunson. And I'm like, have you seen these first two preseason games? Julius Randle has maybe dribbled up the court once. That is already living up to your contract. So to me, he could do nothing but that. And I'm like, it was money well spent. Money well spent.
So we're about a week away from the season. So I'm anxious to see what Tibbs does tomorrow and then Friday. So we got Indiana and then Washington.
He already said no Grimes tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how he handles the rotation with these last two games. And, let's just not get anybody hurt. Let's just, play without getting anybody hurt. Brunson going to have to deal with Ja, I believe, in about a week. So,
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. So I will say the most interesting thing is when the Knicks post the photos of their practice sessions, a lot of people were making the notes that Quentin Grimes and almost all of the photos that they usually release of practice is in solid blue, which is starters. So in a lot of these practices, Grimes has been starting. So a lot of people are thinking maybe Tibbs is just waiting to see how things look, and then maybe he starts the season, or just, to me, I think what you have if you're Tibbs is a really good scenario, right? Because you can go, if I'm playing a team that's offensively strong, I maybe want to start Fournier, right? So I can have the firepower. If I'm playing a team that's defensively strong, I want to play Grimes, who plays a lot harder on defense than Fournier does. So I'm like, for me, I kind of see it to where it's like, you have a situation to where, whatever you need, you have two players that are somewhat interchangeable. You know what I'm saying? To a degree. I just really want to see what this team looks like against Memphis game one. Because if they can hold their own, let alone get a win, to me it sets the tone. It sets the tone for the rest of the season of, I now can't accept anything less. Because Memphis, I believe, unless there's something I'm missing, will be at full strength game one, barring anything between now and then. And we'll be at full strength. So I'm like, if you can knock off Memphis game one, I feel really good about the rest of the games going forward. It's funny, Joel, as I pass it to you. I started my season as the Knicks so far, and I went up against Cleveland. That was one of my games. I said, "Oh, this is gonna be the game where, oh man, I blow these motherfuckers out by 40." I lost that game, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. We play them again soon. We don't play
Joel, he just
again
jinxed
until
it, man.
January.
He just
we don't play them again until January.
We play these guys the night before before Halloween.
No, time out. Wouldn't it have been a jinx if I said I blew them out?
No.
The fact that we lost shouldn't have been a jinx. That shouldn't have been a jinx.
Who'd you play?
Huh? No, now I don't want to say it again. No, I don't want to say it again. If you tell me I'm jinxing, no. Joel already makes me feel bad that we don't have Zion. So no, I don't want to keep speaking.
Don't.
He said they played Cleveland just to
just to blow them out. Is that what you're trying to do?
Damn, did you just
that didn't
dry
happen?
snitch? Did you
It
just
didn't
dry
happen,
snitch?
Yeah, now and we got to mess with and play them the night before Halloween. Just after dealing with DIdge's guys.
Yeah, especially.
Yeah, but that's a cakewalk. Ain't nobody worried about that.
Cakewalk.
It will be a cakewalk for the Bucks. You are so right.
You read that wrong. You read that wrong.
I'm so glad you said that.
Hey, I'm just saying this, Joel, because you and Prime are objective Knicks fans. Don't we play the Bucks super tough every time we play them? We play them extremely tough.
We get one win a year at least.
Yeah, DIdge. What you gotta say about that? What you gotta say about that, DIdge?
I think we've blown them out twice in 2 years, but then we blow us out next afterwards. But it's back and forth.
The first time is what counts. It's always the first you remember, DIdge.
I remember it was like Quentin Grimes' breakout game. It was against the Bucks.
Yes, it was. Yep.
Killer. I think we lost that game, but still, it was a good.
It was a good confidence game for him. It damn sure was. But Joel, as I pass it to you, the more you look at,
we played you, we won. By the way.
But are you looking at it? Are you looking at it from Milwaukee's point of view or from like the NBA's point of view? How are you looking at it?
From the NBA's point of view, I mean, even if we talk all time, we've beat you guys more than we've lost.
But you didn't beat us. Melo's first game as a Knick. Anyway, I gotta hang on to the things that we have, DIdge. Damn it, Joel. The more you watch Obi Toppin, is this starting to make things difficult for the idea of regardless how Randall plays, it just seems like it should be de facto passed down to Obi? Or does it kind of still seem like there's more growing to do for Obi before we get to that point of him being the starter?
He's always gonna need more growing, but like the way it's that game in the Indiana game where it's like he's a fucking show. You know what I mean? Like that's why it's hard. It's like, man, I just want to see him play as many minutes as you give him. And it's the opposite with Randall right now. Whereas Randall's like a bull in a china shop, and then and Obi's like a fucking watching Vince Carter play sometimes. Like,
I mean, I do want to throw out there, Joel, just to be fair, because DIdge always says we shit on him. Randall has not looked bad in the preseason at all.
Good.
It's just the idea of we keep saying it's hard to defend Randall because once you do, he has a year like he had last year, right? And it's just like, well, what is the real Julius Randle? Are you telling me that I have to pay you all this money and hope that the year we land on is the year after a horrible year where you're ready to bounce back? Or will the bounce back be a consistent thing you have going forward? And I look at Obi and I'm like, that just looks like consistency personified.
Shot selection. And that's why having a point guard is so important for Julius Randle specifically.
Right.
Because Julius is a better rebounder.
Yep.
And a better passer than Obi. It's just
for sure. For sure. The passing thing is by far. The rebounding thing I won't give much credence to because it's like if you played Obi as much as you played Julius Randle, I think the rebounds would be there.
I still don't think he does, but I don't think he's not aggressive rebounder. That's my issue.
I give you that.
I've seen too many times where he's just too passive. You got to play hard. You got to play strong on those boards. Whereas Julius will fucking elbow you. Like
Julius will try to knock your head off. That is true.
He will try to hurt you. But which is different. Now it's all shot selection. Like in the third quarter, we were up 12, 15 points at one point, and then he started doing ISOs and adding to that's fine. Do ISO. When you do that, we're up like 12, 15, and then they're going in. You can go crazy. Go ISO all you want. Go nuts. Right. I love it. It's awesome.
Right.
We're up. And it's like they're giving him the ball in the right place. He's not dribbling up the ball, dribbling the ball up the court and spinning into like triple teams, which is probably the most annoying thing that he used to do.
Yep.
And like even when his shot is not on, it's just like he's been playing well. Like I can't complain. It's just not as fun to watch him as it is to watch Obi. That's all it is. It's more of a fun factor than anything.
Yeah, and again, I think Obi can turn being a fun factor into being a legit guy in the NBA.
I think he showed it last year that he has that potential, and he's getting better. You know, it's just like he has the super athletic, so rebounding should not be as big an issue as it is for him. And blocking shots, he should block it. The fact that he had 2 blocks the last game meant a lot to me.
The fact that he turned one of the blocks into an under the legs self alley-oop dunk. You're just like, you can be so beautiful.
Face special, right on him.
Like goodness gracious, watching him is just
that was
like
a beautiful
blessing.
Play.
We have that kid.
Oh shit, that's crazy. Yeah, it was fun.
That was definitely a fun moment for us.
That's why the idea of trading him was very like, I don't want to trade him. I don't want to trade him.
Again, I will always stand by. I was fine if you told me what I was getting was Donovan. I didn't want to, but if you told me that's what I was getting back, I wouldn't even lose an iota of sleep. It would be fun to watch winning. I think Donovan could have given us that. But no, I'm really excited for them, and I think what I'm trying to work up in my mind is I always hate when my dad says it's at least fun to watch the Knicks, because to me that's so defeatist, right? It's like, well, they don't necessarily win, but at least they're trying. I don't want that. I think a lot of this nucleus has been here too long, or they're too old for me to expect anything but just pure winning from them. And I think we're in a position now to where it's like, you just got to start winning games, bro. You just have to start winning games. And it's not an easy schedule to start. The first month is a pretty solid month for the Knicks to showcase where they're at in the Eastern Conference. So
it starts with defense.
Yep. Oh, hell yeah. And that's one thing Tibbs has been doing really good with these first few preseason games is defense. Now, again, I'm not raving based off of the teams we've beaten so far. But again, progress is progress, no matter who you play. And that matters.
You can easily lose those games. So,
I mean, shit, we saw it in football. Oh, Packers are playing Giants. Easy for the Packers. Says who? Right, Joel? Right, Joel? Says who? Yeah, you go win that shit.
What did your father say, Diz? What about that?
Was he going crazy, Ditch?
Not really.
He wasn't that good.
My dad, he's weird. Like, he doesn't. It's still the regular season, so it's like a loss is a loss in the regular season unless they start adding up. Like,
that's fair.
That's true.
I'm just saying, Didge, if them shits add up and we trace it back to losing to the Giants in London, I'll make sure Mike never lives it down. Yeah, I'll make sure Mike never lives it down.
Crazy.
Yeah, Mike. Hey, Mike, you do know that your whole mudslide started in London against the Giants, right? Just saying.
But like when they lost, he was like, "Oh, we'll get them next week. We got another New York team coming in, so we'll get them next week."
Oh, they play them next week.
Oh,
yeah, they play the Jets.
I tell you, the way the Jets been playing with homeboy Zach Wilson, you never know. But Didge, walk us through how Milwaukee's been looking in the preseason.
They're trying to see how everybody else outside of our
starters
pretty much.
Like, are they trying to give Ibaka minutes? That's the most important thing.
Let me see because they're playing right now, and
he played a little bit the other day.
That's what I'm saying.
He played a little bit the other day. He's not in today. Well, like I said, they're literally. It's like they're giving. It's giving basically the end of the bench and Bobby Portis minutes essentially. And I think that's
hilarious if you're Bobby Portis.
I think that's Bobby Portis' reasoning. I think he said, "Hey, look, I'm playing." Like, I don't think it was like, "Hey, Portis, we gotta have you in here."
Who do you think is gonna start shooting guard?
Oh, that's a good question.
I'm curious.
Evan Fournier when we trade him.
Not us.
No, when we trade him to Milwaukee.
Maybe Connaughton. I think Connaughton still has the inside track of it.
He'd probably be good.
Wait, you starting him over Grayson?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Fournier?
Hey, if you want him, Didge,
no, we're
by
good.
all means.
Nah, you laughing though. He probably fit in well with y'all though. To be honest with
He
you.
really would. He'd space the shit out of that.
I think he'd fit in well with you guys.
He'd space the shit out of that.
He probably would actually, to be fair.
And tell you what, Didge, you either get Fournier or you spend the rest of your life with George Hill. How does that sound?
Yeah. We'll take George.
Oh,
Hill.
you'll give us Fournier for George Hill? Oh, I'll tell you.
Damn right. Damn right. Yes. Yeah, damn right. Because here's the good part. Here's the good part. You get a really good role player, right? And guess what we get? To fucking cut George Hill.
That's I'm
okay with that.
George Hill ain't getting nuts.
It's just George Hill is like, yeah, I'd be fine with that because it's like everybody always says, oh, he has championship pedigree. He has championship pedigree. He doesn't have a ring.
He does.
How?
No, but he played for a championship team.
He played many years with Pop. That counts, right?
That's pedigree. Yeah, that's pedigree.
Did he win a ring any of those years?
It don't matter.
No, but he's one of the best players on
that You do get pedigree.
So where's your championship pedigree?
Any playoff
mentality?
Runs Pacers.
Mentality. Your mental.
And that mentality didn't get him a ring.
I was coached by a guy.
His last good year.
He got traded before they were gonna win a ring. Didge, that wasn't his fault.
Sounds like guess what? Guess another time he left a team before they won a ring.
Who?
Sounds like he does that a lot with the Bucks. His first stint with the Bucks. He left that.
Well, you know what?
Next year.
Thank him. He got you a ring. He got you a ring. He could have stayed and you'd be ringless. Thank that man for that favor he did you.
George makes $4 million.
Yeah, come on, Didge. Why are you complaining so much?
We wouldn't even be able to trade.
$4 million.
The money wouldn't work.
Oh, we'll give you the extra.
Yeah,
we'll give you the other one. I will personally contribute to it.
No, you know what you got to do? You know what you got to do, Didge? You got to send us the money, and you got to give us shared custody. You got to let us use Giannis on the weekends.
Nope, never mind, man. we'll deal.
Like, is Giannis on the Knicks? Only on the weekends. Only on the weekends. Don't worry. It's not
kind of like both of
them. Sundays, hours.
It's like, wait, what do we do? We both play on this weekend. I just know we have them on the weekends. I don't give a fuck what you do. You got Fournier now. You can borrow Randall. You want to borrow Randall? No, we don't want. Well, it's your fucking problem. So really, Didge essentially is just kind of seeing your young guys. Really,
it's pretty much our preseason has been about seeing everybody else. The only game I think Giannis played was the game that we were in Abu Dhabi, and I think that's just because Abu Dhabi was probably like, look, you're not coming here and not showing Giannis.
That's funny. That's funny. But okay, so we'll get to see a better look at you guys once we get to the regular season. We'll
I think that's when everything will sort of gel. There might be a filling out process because they didn't play in a preseason, and that'll be Bud's fault.
They're solidified at like 4 out of 5 positions. That's why, to me, it should be like an open tryout for shooting guard. There's a couple guys that could definitely start, but it's just they got Allen, they got Connaughton, they got Beauchamp, is Wes Matthews even playing? Wes Matthews.
Oh man, remember that time, Joel, where I liked Wes Matthews?
Maybe him.
I remember. Maybe Wes Matthews.
Oh, then I can maybe watch some Buck games. I was a fan of Wes Matthews.
He was starting at the end of last year.
All right, let's move on, guys. Let's head into. No, he was just saying that Wesley Matthews played some towards the end of last year.
No, he started.
Oh, started.
He did start. Yeah.
After Grayson Allen started most of the year, and then all of a sudden Wes Matthews started. What happened?
When they started, it seemed like it was better for playoffs. No, it just seemed like it's better for playoffs, and as they were starting to try to, playoffs, I guess the lineups get larger and more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when they brought in Matthews to start.
Right.
That makes sense.
Defense.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to football, and I'm going to start off with something funny, so then we can move right on to our actual teams and the shocker of the week. All right, this is what we're doing, guys. This is what we're doing here.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Look what they did to Baker Mayfield. Look what they did to him. They knew winning was coming, and they took my boy out. Okay? Just when we thought winning was coming, they took my boy out, okay? That is a damn shame that the NFL would allow that to happen. There should be charges pressed, okay? There should be an investigation, all right? This shit's ridiculous that we would allow transcendent talent like Baker Mayfield to go out
Transcendent?
that way. Transcendent. Okay? Transcendent, translucent, okay? Transmission, whatever you want to use, that is Baker. Okay? Now, I want us to give a moment of silence to Baker while he's on injury reserve. He's not there yet, but they're saying he might end up being there. You don't make noise in a moment of silence, Didge. It's supposed to be silent.
Can I just drink?
Goodness gracious. Anyway, Baker, I want you to know I am still here for you, Baker Mayfield. I'm still your number one fan, me and Skip Bayless. Okay? We got you, man. We got you. We do. We love you. We do. He's one of the family. And I'm one of Skip's family. You know, I've been over his house once. But anyway. Panthers, I don't know what the hell they're going to do. No, but does he need to? Anyway. Panthers fired their head coach. Also fired their defensive coordinator. They were essentially trying to clear house. Now, Didge, because you did send this in the group chat, and they have since cleared these said rumors. Jeff Howe, who weirdly used to cover only New England, apparently got this scoop. But the Panthers are not shopping Christian McCaffrey. Apparently, the talk of the town is they're not ready to go full fire sale. That might change later on in the season. But as of right now,
that might change next week.
Willing to. Yeah, that might change. I mean, shit, PJ Walker's quarterback, so that shit might change mid-game. Like, yeah, go ahead and pack your shit, Christian. Yeah, go ahead and pack that. But just wanted to clarify, Didge, that they're saying they're not shopping him, and the Bills haven't even called. They said that's also false. The Bills haven't even called questioning about it.
I wonder where he got that from then.
It might have been one of those things where the Bills were just like the Bills internally might have said, "Oh shit, yo, should we call and see if Christian McCaffrey's available?" And someone overheard it and was like, "Yo, Bills called to see if they can get Christian McCaffrey." You know how that shit.
True.
Goes. Where it's like I didn't fully say that, but
wouldn't it? It would be awful.
Did Prime just say that would be great?
No, he said
So
that'd be terrible.
I mean, I didn't got to deal with it. It's the AFC, man. That's
you know what, Prime. You know what. You're right. So I think what's comparable is I think it would be fair if after Tom Brady's divorce is handled, right? He finishes his career with the New York Giants, right? And you got to play Tom Brady twice a year.
Nah, we good, player. We good.
Okay, all right, yeah. So I don't need the Bills that are already almost virtually unstoppable to get Christian McCaffrey. No, thank you. I don't need a running quarterback to go to a running wide receiver. I don't need that. I don't need that combination there. That's just too much to think about. We already don't got no damn linebackers. I don't need it. But anyway, Didge, I'll start with you. How we feeling about Matt Rule being fired and the defensive coordinator being fired? And you cannot use the name Baker Mayfield in your response. Go ahead. What are your thoughts, Didge?
Number 6 is clearly the reason they got fired.
Oh, Hall of Famer number 6. Right, gotcha.
No, not Hall of Famer number 6 on the Panthers, who apparently is headed towards injured reserve.
Okay.
His bad quarterback play is why he got fired. But more importantly, Matt Rule's going to make $834,000 a month for being fired.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
I've been told Prime, go ahead, coach somewhere, bro. Go ahead, head coach somewhere. Don't even try. Don't even write plays down. Don't even show up to games. And just get fired, collect that check. Yeah, that's what I would do. That's what I would do.
That's so wild to me. But no, it's been hilarious to see how many Panthers fans have just act like the second coming of Jesus has occurred. I didn't realize they were plotting on this man's downfall that much. Like,
who are we referring to? Matt Rule?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so.
Number 6 is a close second. I mean,
nah. Sam Darnold's number 2.
They
didn't look any better under.
He might be number 3. And then weirdly, Teddy Bridgewater's like number 4 still. Like he's not even on the team anymore.
That's hilarious. And you know what's crazy? Somebody said, like, it's really interesting that if you're the Packers and you're struggling this much, how do you not keep an eye on what's happening in Carolina and make a call for DJ Moore? Like, how is that still happening and you're not making phone calls? Like, I really don't understand. DJ is clearly a phenomenal receiver that just can't weirdly get open.
Struggling.
He does, because when you have a great quarterback and you can't get any space to get yourself open, it's really hard to kind of, gain success. So, he has to work on that, but I think he needs to go to a quarterback that has more patience.
It's tough when your quarterback throws into a lineman, though.
You talking about Green Bay?
No. I'm talking about Baker Mayfield. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I think you said, who'd you say about calling DJ Moore?
Oh, yeah, Packers. Yeah, Packers should be calling for DJ.
He'd be number 2 on the list. I think. My number 1 would be?
Who?
D-Hop.
What? He's not even back from suspension yet.
Yeah, he has 6 weeks, right?
Yeah. But if I'm the Cardinals, why wouldn't I at least wait to see what he looks like on my team before I trade him?
This might be what you can get because they sure ain't looking good right now. They missing.
Well, I tell you what, because here's the problem with trading with the Packers, Prime, right? Unless you can get an oral agreement that Aaron Rodgers will retire after this season, you're expecting them to lose 4, maybe 5 games a year? They're not going to be that low or that high, rather. Come draft time. So it's like if they trade you picks, that won't amount to much.
Right.
And what player do you think you have that's comparable? Unless you're giving me some of that defense, which I don't think they'll do, what are you going to give me? That's what I'm saying. If you're the Panthers, you're more so just like, I just need DJ out of here, right? I want to just start fresh, money on the boards, paying people, whatever the case. It's more cleaning house. I think if you're the Cardinals, to go from a possible MVP season for Kyler Murray last year to now trading away his number 1 threat, that's looking real Houston Texan-ish if you do that. So let's hope they're not ready to do that.
I can see the Chiefs. I can see the Chiefs still looking at him. And Joel, I'm surprised you're quiet because the rumor I've been hearing the most has been the Giants.
Right, yeah, the Giants I've been hearing.
I have heard. I just,
we don't want
to believe anything at this point.
We don't want the Chiefs or the Giants to get any better, Didge. What are you doing?
We can't afford OBJ. We might be able to trade for DJ, but I'm
sorry, time out. Did you say you can't afford Odell?
We can't afford Odell.
How do you figure you can't afford Odell? What do you think his number is?
Higher than what we can afford?
Who are you paying?
Odell Beckham.
No. On your current roster, who is the highest paid player?
Fucking Galladay.
Oh, I forgot he's still on your roster.
Damn. Yeah.
Friday NIU.
Yo, Kenny Holiday is Chandler Parsonsing the Giants right now. Damn, bro. I'm sorry, Joel. I'm sorry. That's why when you're like, we can't afford him, I'm like, after 2 ACL tears, everybody should be able to afford Odell. That number can't be high.
Galladay.
Saquon.
Is he your biggest
Saquon. The money you're going to end up having to pay Daniel Jones when he turns into an MVP.
He looks good right now,
and it's not even close.
Yeah, they paid him an absorbent amount.
He's a $21 million cap space. Number 2 is 15. Like $6 million over number 2.
Who's number 2?
Leonard Williams.
He deserves it.
I was gonna say Leonard Williams has been a monster when he's out there.
So that one makes sense.
Yeah, and really up until recently, the man has never really missed games.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, that's definitely worth it. But damn, Kenny Galladay, ain't he injured right now?
Yep.
Yeah, he's hurt right now. We have no
boy Kenny Galladay.
Stealing money.
Hey, that should be investigated in the NFL.
We brought in a practice squad receiver to play that Green Bay game, Marcus Johnson.
You know what? You know what? I part of me does look at Kenny Galladay and go, man, that's robbery. The other half of me goes, to me, I consider that reparations. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Kenny Galladay and I went to the same college. I applaud him getting his money.
Joel's saying it shouldn't be at my expense.
Hey, me and Kenny Galladay roamed the streets of DeKalb, Illinois at the same time. I applaud him getting his money.
Okay, all right. So
I don't mind him making money. I really wish he'd earn it.
You heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first. Kenny Galladay is a friend of the show. Friend of the show. Friend of the show.
There you go.
So we can only say nice things from now on. All right. So we love you, Kenny, and keep stealing.
Get well soon.
No, you don't even have to get well soon. Keep stealing. Happy hunting.
Keep stealing my money.
He has
But,
2 receptions this year.
Yeah,
That's
he has also like
hilarious.
2 drops.
He probably does.
Oh man, you know what you should do, Joel? You should see if the Cowboys want him. They need a number 1.
Yeah. I'm down.
See if
You guys
Cowboys want him.
We good. We good. We
You
good.
sure? You sure? Y'all got some money. You sure?
I'll trade you.
We don't really have a number 1, but that's working right now. So
That's working for us.
Damn.
Because defenses don't know who to guard. That's how y'all
Yeah.
win in games.
It's not hurting us
Damn,
either.
CD.
Unfortunately.
Prime just poo-pooed all
our
of
fifth
us.
receiver catch a 65-yarder. I mean,
Damn, CD.
just-
I
just
thought you was the number 1.
Back in high school, he was the man, homie. Anyway, Joel, I pass it to you. Panthers firing their head coach and defensive coordinator. Does this essentially seem like they should be heading down a fire sale with this team?
Almost. I mean, my thing with it, look, Rule was a guy that I know we liked a lot. He was almost our coach. That's how close I think he was. But look, it obviously worked out 1 year better for him, so it worked out better in Carolina.
For you
We
guys,
lost
yeah.
Judge, real quick. That came in, it didn't last. So it didn't work out for either one. Worked out for the best because as of right now, I think we have a pretty damn good coach in Brian Daboll. So
I'd say.
I wonder where he goes next, though. Like, does he stay in the NFL? Does he go back to college?
I tell you this right now. We know there's a sucker in the NFL every day, right? But if a head coach 1 year removed from the way that the Panthers have been playing this year hires this man as a head coach, something's happening. Something's going on. It needs to be investigated. Something's going on. Some owner got CTE or something. Like something's happening because that ain't smart.
Bullshit. What the fuck?
Prime, how are you looking at this? Should they just go full fire sale, or should they try to see if they can maybe, rally around this interim head coach?
man, look, you got a respectable city, you got a really nice stadium. Why not try to have a really nice team? And that's probably means that you probably gonna have to scrap it. I think at this point, though. I think you just
That
scrap
could have
it.
went either way.
And yeah, but I was kind of on the fence about it because I was saying we got a couple of pieces there, but we've been looking at this for quite a while, even before he got there. And is it his fault that Baker is his quarterback? So you said DIdge can say Baker. I can say it.
Yeah, you
But,
can say it. You're at least respectful. You can say
Yeah,
it.
and I actually thought Baker
He was right along with me. Twins.
Nah, I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
Yeah,
He was
no,
on
I
the
will.
side. That's all I remember.
But to be honest with you, though, man, you might as well scrap it. And the Rule himself, man, college is the move for him. I mean, with 2 straight 10-win seasons at Temple, and then he won 10, 11 games at Baylor. There's tons of jobs already. There's a couple of jobs already available. Nebraska, there's some other spots. There's going to be some more here pretty soon. So
We'll take him to Wisconsin.
Yeah. Just going back, and I think his next stop is probably back to college football. He won't have a problem getting a job. Trust me. Especially offensively, he's innovative, at least on that level. So I think he'll be fine. But yeah, they need to just go ahead and just scrap that thing.
That's fair. For me, Panthers, to me, go ahead and fire sale. That way you could use money and draft picks to put a better team around Baker Mayfield. So we could really get a better look on how Baker Mayfield can look with this team. So for me, sell it all. Sell it all and let's build from ground up. You already got your future quarterback. Now you just need to go out and, get an offensive line, get a running back that doesn't enjoy being injured all the time. Small
Nice.
things, very small things. I'm only asking for the bare minimum. That's it. But all right, let's move on. Joel, I'm going to pass it to you, man. Take it away. Something happened in London. I don't know what. They didn't catch James Bond, in case people are thinking that's what it was.
Was he on the loose?
He was. And you know what? I think he might have been quarterbacking the Giants.
Was he? International man of mystery.
Yes,
Brian Daboll.
because I tell you what, there was no bigger mystery last week than me checking the scoreboard and it saying the Giants held on and beat the Packers. I definitely said, I'm really confused here. Did Aaron Rodgers stay home? Did he not travel because of COVID or something?
Well,
what happened?
I missed the fourth quarter, but I did see the first 3 quarters. So I saw at least up to where they tied it. And it didn't start off all that great for us. I know, but it was Comic-Con. We had to get going. It was an early fucking game.
Unfortunately, our interviews are at like 2:00. So
yeah, they were fucking early,
yeah.
or else I would have stayed. But I came home and finished it. I did eventually see it. I just didn't see it early. Yeah, I got the update in the car. I was like, oh fuck, I was so nervous, and it was like, fuck it, yeah, I don't feel watching us lose. But it seems like every game is the same thing. We start slow. It just takes us a little bit just to find our groove offensively and defensively. But once we figure out what we're doing most of the time, like at this point, it's like I trust them to make the right adjustments. I've never seen a team since I've been a Giant fan. I've never seen a team this creative offensively, and defensively. It's just like, how can you hold up like the secondary, like defending the pass without your starting corners? Like both our corners are out. Aaron Robinson's out. I don't know how long, and then Adoree Jackson got hurt like in the second quarter or some shit. And then we still held up.
I will say one thing that helps your corners is when Aaron Rodgers' wide receivers are off in the YMCA, like the local Y.
I mean, they were letting us up early. Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb.
But you got to remember, Randall Cobb showed up to that game in a walker. So it's not much like he doesn't have.
Killing us.
He can't sustain.
The running game was killing. The running game was what was. The Packers abandoned the running game in the second half.
They did, and they were running on us pretty well too.
Are we saying Aaron Rodgers has now come to the point where running is their best course of winning games?
No, because Aaron Rodgers was. As I was watching the game, I'm like, the man has such a quick release.
Mm-hmm.
It's like watching a western and who shoots faster.
Gunslinger.
He's like, whoosh. I don't, because I'm not used to that, because they don't just not throw that quickly.
Most people don't, to be fair to Daniel.
That arm is ridiculous, because and it can go far and fast, and like it gets to the receiver. I don't even see the ball leave his hand. I'm like, that's how fast he throws that ball. And I was kind of like jealous. I'm like, I can't have a quarterback that can throw that fucking ridiculously fast and accurate.
It's okay, we don't either. Neither does Prime.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously didn't need it, but we figured it out. The defense held up. The offense showed up. Even when Saquon got hurt at one point, he was on the sideline, shoulder injury. He came back in, ran it down the field, scored. That's when we tied it. Right? No, we took the lead on some shit.
That was the lead.
Yeah. Well, we tied it with Gary Brightwell. That's when Saquon was on the bench, ran it down the fucking middle. And then the defense held up at the end. Aaron Rodgers had a chance. They were at the end zone. They were right there. 2 batted passes, one by Kayvon Thibodeau, even though that was more of right into his helmet. And the other one was by
batted pass, and that one was a little liberal. That's a little,
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, he was in the right place at the right time. So and then Xavier Kinney with the block, basically. Yeah. So I mean, 2 batted passes to end the game. And then, of course, they ended up sacking. I mean, he still had maybe 6 seconds to throw the ball, whatever the fuck, at the end, and they got the sack. So I mean, that's great. I mean, I get shocked at how well they played, and Green Bay still had a chance to win. But at the end of the day, we just figured it out. You know what I mean?
I don't like the feeling. I don't like the imbalance of the force of the Giants being good. I'll say good. I feel comfortable saying good.
They're good strategists.
There's an imbalance in the force. I don't like it. Prime, I'm going to pass it to you, right? Not to talk about this game, because I'm going to throw up if I have to keep hearing this. I want to throw it to your specific game, okay? Are you starting to feel the sweat on the back of your neck, knowing that the Eagles are obviously who you play this week? also knowing that your record and the Giants' record are extremely comparable, are you starting to feel like, damn, maybe when Juwaan said that there's more than 2 teams good in the NFC this year, I shouldn't have laughed as hard? Are you starting to feel that a little bit, Prime?
No.
Oh, okay.
Look, no. I'm as cool as Cooper Rush, bro.
And he has been cool.
Yeah, no, respect. Look, man, I can't stand teams in my division, but I really respected what the Giants. I'm respecting what they're doing, and I've seen all of their games, man. I mean, they're playing like really good football. So we'll see what happens down the road, but you gotta take your hat off to what they've done, especially with what they have to work with.
Right.
Like it's amazing.
He said it ain't much there, but y'all making it work.
But they look, man. It just kind of reminds me of for years when I was I was an assistant high school football coach, and we won a lot of games like that. I mean, they remind us a lot of the teams that we had. We went like 30 straight years. Of course, I wasn't coaching all those years, but whereas we didn't have a losing season. So,
right.
And I looked at a lot of those teams. They play just the way that the Giants are playing now. Started off slow in a lot of games, toughen up. Around the second quarter or in the second half, sticking to what they know, and not trying to overcomplicate it. So shout out to them. But as far as us playing Philly, I mean, I'm going to sweat about that for. I'm in a position right now that nobody outside of Dallas had us in after week 1. I had a buddy of mine that I don't treat him the way that he treats me, but he in week 1, when that got hurt, he immediately goes to Facebook and posts the Cowboys season is already over. Guess who his team is?
Oh.
He's a Rams fan.
Fuck.
Yeah. So
Tragic.
shout out to my guy Daryl. Yeah.
Shit.
And I haven't even talked to him. And I ain't contact him, text. I just let it be. Right. But
the best things are left unsaid, they say.
Yeah. But
shout
out to my guys. Playing tough. We're playing good football, especially defensively. The offensive, coach has come into with a game plan like, look, we're not going to put this man in a position that he don't need to be in. You're playing Aaron Donald. We're only going to let this guy drop back 16 times. This man attempted 16 passes. That's it.
That's all you needed.
16 passes and completed 10, bro. 102 yards. That's it. But it worked. The defense is continue to play his lights out. Last week I mentioned how it was but pretty much it was down to us and the 49ers. We're down to teams who hadn't allowed 20 points in the game.
Right.
Well, we still haven't allowed 20 points in the game. He is the Niners. We're the only team in the league who hasn't allowed 2 touchdowns in a game. And I thought sure that would change this past week. I said, we'll finally give up 20 probably. Even if it's 20. We'll give up a couple of touchdowns, and that didn't happen. So I'll say it again. If it's going to happen, it will be this week.
Against the Eagles.
Against the Eagles.
I will always say, oh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The one thing I will say, I am monitoring the weather for that game because now they're saying at this moment it's like a 47% chance of rain, which one could stymie Jalen a little bit, but then 2 leads me to my point. I was telling someone, if that's the case, I definitely don't know if I want Dak to come back. No. If that's on the table. If you talk about trying to grip a football, there's already probably going to be some struggles there, not playing for a few weeks, already. And you got to get back in the rhythm and the groove. And if you're playing in the rain and it's a wet football, I don't know if that's ideal. Right. Or if he can play, just make him in this particular game the number 2. Yeah. And then you only think about using him towards the end if something happens or you feel like you need to put him in. If this is the game where things really go left for Rush, and then it's a division game, I'm gonna put him in there and see what happens. Yeah. So but overall, I'm once again another week. I'm thoroughly happy. Dominant defense, dominant players on the defense, not named Michael Parsons. Let's just put that out there. Donovan Wilson, everybody's ready to write DeMarcus. Cowboy fans would want to trade DeMarcus Lawrence. Mad he got paid the past 2 seasons. DeMarcus Lawrence is lights out. Dorrance Armstrong, lights out. Odiggy Zua playing well. So shout out to my guys at 4-1, and if it's 4-2 after this Sunday, so be it. If it's 5-1,
what are you feeling right now, Prime, about the quarterback situation, about Cooper Rush and Dak? What is your feeling as?
I'm not dumb. Look, man, people can overhype this stuff all they want. Now, I do believe on that. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Right. But bro, I agree with that. I agree with that part. But to think, and we've seen Dak have some really bad games, but to think that we'll be able to scoot the rest of this season, not being able to score points, folks don't realize when they make these statements, right? This man threw for 102 yards last week. That was by design, but I get it. They talk about how he hasn't turned the football over. Well, in the Washington game alone, we got away with 2 interceptions because of some penalties. I like Cooper Rush. I really liked it. But last year we were the highest scoring team in the league. Can you imagine, at least in the regular season, even if Dak struggles coming back, but if he can keep back to form, what that offense and that defense could do to a lot of teams in possible. People don't realize this. We're sitting here at 4-1, have only scored 3 more points than Washington, than the Commanders this season.
Really?
I understand.
Really?
So we beat, and granted, they both haven't been playing great, but we beaten both of last year's Super Bowl, teams, right?
Yeah.
We played Tampa Bay really tough, all things considered. Mm-hmm. We've only scored 3 more points than Washington.
I'm Rivera.
The Giants have scored more points than we have.
I will say, and again, I'm the outside looking in, but to me,
crazy.
There's no way.
You know that, did you?
It's a defense.
There's no way that if I'm Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott plays another game of football while the Cowboys are winning. No. Juwaan, no. Now, to build on what Joel just asked me, mm-hmm. Do I think that they need to, follow a similar formula when Dak comes back? Yeah. I don't think Dak is that guy. And granted, you'll hear mad Cowboy fans come back. Well, he threw 45 passes in this game and threw for 400 and this, that, and the third. Yeah, he's capable of having those games. But the formula for him, let's dial it down a little bit. So you're never going to have Dak Prescott only attempt 16 passes, right? Or less than 20 passes in a game. But he's not the guy every week that needs to be out there throwing 45 and 50 attempts every game. And we saw Kellen Moore. You bring Dak back to that 35 range, 40 max. Mm-hmm. You understand? This was the formula that was working when he started to be successful. They tried to run the football. Mm-hmm. And of course, back then with Zeke and all that, when he came to the league and he started his upward climb to people, this guy might be a superstar. This is how they were winning games. And the defense back then was pretty good. This defense so far has been dominant. He is not the quarterback that needs to drop back, Juwaan, and throw 45, 50 times a game. But you know the difference,
I'm also
going
to push back what Juwaan said, too, because...
What did I say?
About they're the bottom 4 they're a bottom 4 offense right now. There's no way.
Time out. But what was the most important thing I said, DIdge? There's no way Dak comes in if they're still winning. If they're still winning, that means you're finding ways to win.
When you're a bottom 4 offense, you still need to make that change.
No.
Because that defense isn't carrying you. You think that defense is carrying them the next 16 weeks to the Super Bowl?
I get you.
It's not.
I also remember how Dak looked in that Buccaneers game before he went out.
But to be fair, let's be fair. Dak has a game or two like that every year. So they get hot And people
Well,
say
every quarterback does.
And they'll go on that 3 or 4 run tear where they're beating the brakes off of people. Then there's always that game that comes and he looks absolutely horrible. And we're watching, and so maybe a 2-game stretch. And he's in there. I know we're going to get it right. I believe in this team. I mean, he's well rehearsed. I've seen this a billion times, right? I believe in this team. We'll find a way to fix it and move on. That's every quarterback.
Yeah,
right?
No, I just don't know how you sell to your team. I don't know.
Juwaan, it happens to him every year. People seem to forget that because they hop more on the fact that we look good in the preseason, the regular season, and then fall off in the playoffs. But they forget that even when they were looking good, he has a couple, 2 or 3 games a year where he doesn't look all that great, right? So we've been blessed enough to build on what DIdge just said about being a bottom 4 offense in the bottom tier. Think about this. The one thing we've been blessed with to this point defensively, unlike a lot of teams, unlike the Chargers, unlike the 49ers and some other teams, is to this point, we've been blessed enough not to have the major injuries on defense, right?
Right.
What happens whereas you still may be a good defense, but some of those pieces start to fall down? You're going to have to score some points.
Mm-hmm.
You bring him back. He's going to have to work out the rust probably. Mm-hmm. He may look like crap when they first bring him back. People are like, I told you should have left him in this and that. But you got to get him back to form because there's no way this defense, there's a good chance this defense is not going to be able to carry you the entire way.
I'm just saying.
Get him back in the form, man.
I was alive when Rex Grossman took the Bears to a Super Bowl. I'm just saying it can be done. It can be done. Is it something you should look to do?
Super Bowl?
No. DIdge. They got there, dog. If Bailey Zappi can take me to a Super Bowl and we lose it, I don't give a damn. He took us there. We can improve.
Nobody said it can't happen. How many times do you see that though?
It's not often, but you could look at your defense and see the similarities between your defense and that Bears defense. There's a lot of similarities there. A lot.
That Bears defense had a veteran offensive line too. We don't actually. We've got veterans on that line and one of the best offensive linemen in the game. But there's some young guys on there too. So there's some things you got to think about just beyond the defense.
Okay.
And we got a knucklehead coach too, but I'm not going to get into that. But anyway.
Hey, again, it's hard to talk about your coach when I got a winning record.
Hey, look,
for a team that he could have easily coached into a losing record.
If I'm not mistaken, but I believe at this point, and I'll end off with this, not just talking about the coach, but to talk about the quarterback situation. If I'm not mistaken, I think we started 4-1 last year.
Did you? Oh no, Dak was on a tear last year. Yeah, that is true.
I'm just saying, we 4-1 now, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
But what does that tell you? That
we lost that Tampa game when we got robbed. Okay.
Right. I agree.
And we ran off 4 straight, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. And Dak was looking very MVP-ish. Yeah, and y'all still won nothing. Saying. So why not just let Cooper Rush go out there and win you the same amount that Dak did last year? Anyway, I'm just saying, if you're going to get a formula going, I'm just saying. No. But no, I want to talk a little bit about this. I'm going to go to you first, DIdge, then you, Joel. And then, DIdge, I'm going to pass it to you for New England. I do want us to focus on the fact that, DIdge, we said it. Joel called us haters. There's a certain quarterback in L.A. that's looking real fucking pedestrian out there. I'm just saying, it was a magical year last year, and he's looking real Detroit Lionish out there. I'm just saying. So, DIdge, walk me through.
Better in Detroit, honestly.
Didn't he did this past Sunday? Yes. DIdge, so I want to ask you, all jokes aside, I said that just playing around. What do you think?
I mean to cut you off. Let me just say this.
Yes.
I'm gonna defend him a little bit.
Okay.
He just faced two of the best, probably the 2 best defenses in the league back to back. So get it, man. The 2 teams who haven't given up 20 points in the season. So I'm just saying.
All right.
He's no Zappi, but
back to back. Yeah, he's no Zappi, of course, no. But I'm just.
Yes. Oh no, that's so crazy because I believe Zappi won this past week and they lost the Rams in Matt Stafford. Oh, okay. DIdge, no, but all jokes aside, what is the actual problem with the LA Rams this season? Besides you joking and saying it's no Von Miller there. What's the problem?
Well, I mean, I don't have an answer then. Clearly, that pick, that not necessarily a trade, but that drop of Von Miller and picking up a Bobby Wagner did not help that defense.
Again, how many fans has Von Miller tackled? None, DIdge. None. Okay?
Hey, tackling fans
I don't want to hear
you games.
You don't know this. You don't know this. You don't know this.
I mean, as of right now,
did the Rams win last week? Did the Rams win last week?
Hey, one team's trending up, one team's
trending down. Tackle the fan, I'm just saying.
Oh, honestly, I don't know what's going on in LA. To be honest, neither LA team is looking particularly amazing.
Well, I have an excuse for the other one, but this one should be playing a lot better than they are.
I don't know if it was they just caught lightning in a bottle last year, and this is really what we should have expected.
They got a transcendent season out of Cooper Kupp. Like, Cooper Kupp put up Jerry Rice numbers last year, so it's like that's probably why they looked as phenomenally as they did. You know, man put up insane.
And not
numbers.
only that, Stafford actually looked at other receivers, which it don't seem like he's doing this time.
No. Well, I mean, shit. Where you go, hey, you put up those kind of numbers, do that shit again. Like, I'm going to throw to you, do it again. All right? And we said it, DIdge. We said the likelihood of him being able to come even remotely close to the form he was last year, it's really hard. And now you're talking about defenses that will key in on you every time that football is hiked.
That, and then it seems like the running game of Sony Michel and Darrell Henderson might be better than the Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson running game.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are you saying nice things about Sony Michel?
Look, no, it's raining here in Wisconsin.
Things
get a little loopy when it's raining.
That whole running situation over there is terrible.
Joel, now are you saying that because you had who here had Henderson to start the season and he didn't play in that opening game? You did?
No, that was Cam Akers.
Oh, Cam Akers. That's who it was. Okay, I'm sorry, Cam Akers. I really don't know what their issue is. Sean McVay looks like he's losing his fastball. And again, I'm not saying this is a long-term issue that they have, but in the short term, it is not doing you any favors in an NFC that, quite frankly, is wide open. Wide open.
It could also honestly be the Super Bowl hangover. I mean, remember last time they went to the Super Bowl, that next year they didn't look as great as they did the year before.
That is true, but the argument you could have there is who their quarterback was. They had Jared Goff.
Yeah, well,
you're supposed to expect that this was an upgrade, a tremendous.
He was balling. Jared Goff been balling this year, until he ran into the buzzsaw.
Yeah, he struggles against Bill. Bill was just like, hey, Bill was like, hey, I'm going to make up for that Super Bowl where you should have had no points. And I'm going to double down on it now. You get nothing out here, Jared Goff.
I don't know if I like you bigging up this win. You were big on the Lions before this game.
I sure was, yeah. I was.
I don't like you switching up.
Not sure what happened.
Here's the thing. We got a touchdown defensively, right? And then we essentially just pitched a shutout. We hadn't been playing defense like that the whole season so far.
It. You were big on when I said we're gonna beat the Lions. You were looking at me like I was crazy.
You said it real generic, by the way. You are a Patriots fan. You said it as a Patriots fan. Is all I'm saying.
I said it confidently that we were gonna beat the Lions.
You looked at me like I was crazy. Yeah, nobody thought they were going to shut him out.
That's a high score team in the league this year.
That's why I said to me, I'm like, if the Lions are really legit, right, and they can put points on the board, I don't know what the fuck Zappy can do, right? I have no idea what this kid can do.
Guess what he showed you? That it was
that we are really good at running the football. That's what he showed.
No, he showed you that it was Zappy.
Kid's pretty good.
If that game taught us anything, it's that Damian Harris will be finding employment elsewhere next season when he becomes a free agent.
Sad for him.
Because Ramondre Stevenson will be our workhorse going forward. But no, I'll give you that. DIdge, you were right. You called it. You picked New England. New England did win. In great fashion. The defense looked great. If only we could play the Lions for the remainder of the season, we'd be in great shape. But for me, it was one of those games to where it showed me that Bill should be doing what we've been asking Tom Thibodeau to do. Play those fucking kids. Because Jack Jones should be your number one cornerback. The fact that he is not is very frustrating. Very frustrating. That kid has all the talent in the world. He's long. He's fast. He's very physical. And he just has great awareness. To be able to get both feet in as you're going backwards, that's a lot of talent that kid has. And Snoop Dogg raves about him very weirdly. I saw Snoop Dogg just on Instagram just raving about the kid. Apparently he comes from his school or whatever. But no, it was a good win. It was a good win for New England. You know, I'd say this. It was the most impressive out of our three teams. You know, Prime beat a ram. Joel beat a cheesehead. A fucking cheesehead.
It wasn't the most
we beat an
impressive.
actual lion. Nah, we beat an actual lion, bro. We beat an actual lion. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's pretty dangerous. Yeah, you're right.
That's what. Well, that makes it even more impressive that those lions were hungry, and we came in there and made sure they ate nothing. They ate nothing that day. But no, did you want to add anything else?
No, I mean, like I said, it was a great defensive victory.
Are you in a rush for Mac Jones to get back?
We're talking about the defense.
No.
We're talking about this great defensive victory.
Hoyer back.
And
Joel,
how
shut your mouth. No one wants that man to play football again.
Yeah, we don't. What made it
when
so
he's
much
healthy
better
again, he should be holding a clipboard.
Yeah, he should. He's not wrong. We're good with Hoyer. But no, what made it so much better was I was just thinking about how you were so adamant that the Lions might win. And I was just telling you, like, no, they're not. They're not.
Again, DIdge, your apprehensiveness cannot be commended because you are a Patriots fan.
Yes,
you spoke as a Patriots fan.
You are too. And you still gave up on the team.
I spoke more so as somebody who saw how well the Detroit Lions were playing how we were utilizing our third string and asking him to go out there and put points on the board. And I didn't think he could.
He did what Miami's third quarterback could not do.
Yes. Or what Miami's defense
out there like a Patriots fan who gave up and wanted to tank. That's what you were up there.
DIdge, guess what, buddy? I still want to tank. That didn't end. I still trust not one of those three quarterbacks I have. I want to tank. Are you serious? With Mac Jones, you think we can win the AFC East?
I didn't say that.
Okay, so I still want to tank to get a better quarterback. Like, what are we saying right now? What are we saying, DIdge? What's our ceiling? What? Making the playoffs and getting beat 49-2 against the Bills again? What are we aiming for?
Hey man, look, we're aiming for a good
DIdge, if you don't just tank so we can get this Bryce kid and call it a day and start over. Hey, it didn't work with Mac, okay? Let Mac go to Dallas. Dallas can have Mac win a Super Bowl with him. You know, do what y'all need to do over there. We'll be good with Bryce. I don't know. Mac could be better than I don't know. Well, look, Joel, y'all think it's all about the Joneses over there in New York. You take Mac.
I got my fellow Joneses.
So are you saying, Joel, on live air that you can't keep up with the Joneses? Is that what you're telling us?
I can keep them up with my Joneses. I don't need your Joneses.
Oh, damn.
I got Joneses for ownership. We're good.
Damn. So everybody here got Jones. All right. We need to get rid of our Jones. We not even the most successful Jones right now.
I only worry about
Jones.
Yo, DIdge, how does that feel? Jerry Jones' team is over 500. Joel's Jones is over 500. We got a Jones and we ain't over 500. We got to get rid of our Jones, DIdge. We got the wrong Jones. If we had Daniel Jones, we'd be undefeated right now. That's all I'm saying.
We're at that point of our schedule where we can string together some wins and put us over 500.
Man, Amari Cooper is about to pull his pants down and shit on us in Cleveland this week. Are you serious right now? Jacoby Brissett might turn into
y'all better build some wins, man. Them big bad Jets we get y'all in a couple of weeks.
I tried to tell DIdge that Zach Wilson won't nothing to fuck with. It's Zach Wilson and Wu-Tang. You don't fuck with them. I tried to tell DIdge. He didn't want to listen.
Any of you guys that think we be sitting here and say that you guys were talking about how bad it was over in the West, but New York teams are 7-3 right now in the NFL.
And that's all because y'all were poo-pooing on me saying that the Giants could be good. Now look at them. They're
LA having
overachieving.
problems, but New York doing all right. Huh?
Yep. And look at us, DIdge. You done cursed us. Talk about me cursing. You done cursed us, DIdge. You cursed us. All that Mac Attack talk and all that shit.
Not.
You didn't. But I won't put any of that
Mac
on my
Attack.
shoulders.
That's a horrible nickname.
No, you were like Mac Attack, Mac and Cheese.
I never said
it. you were
definitely never said that's a horrible nickname.
You loved it. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about what I think we all view as the game of the week this week. Raiders Chiefs. A game shrouded in controversy. A game shrouded in photographers getting the shit knocked out of them. A game shrouded in you going... First of all, because I know a lot of people said I was a hypocrite when I said that Josh McDaniels shouldn't have went for 2, right? But here's the difference. You went for 2 with 4 fucking minutes left, as if Patrick Mahomes in 15 seconds last year didn't get a field goal. You thought this motherfucker couldn't go down the field in 4 minutes.
Are you?
That was the most insane shit I've ever seen.
Props?
No,
what?
I met Mrs. Mahomes. Went down that field in 15 seconds. DIdge, why you gotta call shit out? You couldn't just allow me to do it. You gotta call it out. I want to take it back. Take it back.
You had too much Mahomes hate throughout the year. I gotta call it out.
Fuck Mahomes. That's what I live for. It's tattooed on my back. Okay. But anyway, what I was saying was when you were saying that both LA teams aren't doing so well, the Raiders, to be fair, these last 3 games have played good enough to win those said games.
They're choking.
I don't know what that play was that Devontae Adams and Hunter... First of all, if you're Hunter Renfrow and Devontae Adams in a route, if you're that close to each other, how the fuck do you not see that you're running the same route and then just veer one way? Like, clearly Devontae Adams was close to the sidelines. He can't go nowhere else. If you're Hunter Renfrow, at no point did you look over and go, are we running the same fucking route?
That's just the type of year he having, bro. They was
like, what the hell?
Last year.
Numbers, but they ain't winning.
It is so weird how they ran that route on a 4th and 5. But also just going for 2 in a game where you could have just tied it, bro. Like, your defense did its job. Patrick wasn't able to score to end the game. You essentially would have had the ball, and all you needed to do was go down and get a field goal, right? You just would have put yourself in a way safer situation. But to go for 2, and then I love how Derek Carr was like, we got it. Motherfucker, you were this short. You got it where? Like, you were short as hell. Just go for the field goal. Now, I won't argue if it's like a minute left, 50 seconds left, last play of the game, you want to go for 2. I don't ever mind you being aggressive. But 4 whole minutes left? You didn't trust your defense to keep Patrick Mahomes at bay for 4 minutes? Really? I don't know, man. I mean, because they essentially did it. They did. They kept Patrick Mahomes out of it. Which, by the way, should we start putting more respect on Crosby's name? Is Crosby a monster?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, because we never talk about Crosby.
For sure.
Yeah, we were treating Crosby like Bruno. Like, we don't talk about Crosby. No. You know what I'm saying? But Crosby was out here giving the work to Pat. That one play on 3rd down where he came right through the middle untouched to put Pat essentially on his ass. I was like, God damn. But Joel, I'll start off with you. Close game, Raiders Chiefs. Walk me through your thoughts, both from the Chiefs standpoint and the Raiders standpoint. Like, was that more so of a game that the Raiders lost, or one that the Chiefs just took?
It just seems like every week the Raiders seem to like get just close, and just something happens. They just can't get out of their own way right now. And I'm very upset with Devontae Adams for pushing that cameraman, because I know they're gonna fucking suspend him, and he's the only fucking receiver giving me points right now.
Well, to be fair, Joel, so far there hasn't been any word about a suspension.
They're gonna suspend him.
I think I heard that the cameraman is looking to press charges.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, they'll probably fine Devontae Adams heavily. But to me, you can't suspend him for that.
Yeah, he might. He might be able to suspend him for that.
Maybe. Okay.
I'm worried that that's where it's gonna go. I have a feeling it will. But then that was stupid. Like, look, when I'm mad, I don't like anybody fucking with me either. But you can't be touching people. You know,
but it's also his job to take. He's a photographer.
That's true.
Like, it wasn't a fan that ran up in your face.
Is when I'm mad, do not irritate me. You know what I mean? It's very simple. Don't get in my face, especially. You know, like. So yeah, I understand that, but
it seemed like he was even trying to move though too. Like,
yeah, he was because he was walking backwards as he was in his face. You know what I mean?
I don't know if he was. You might be right.
He
was in his face because like Devontae, it looked like Devontae was trying to hurry up and get through to the locker room. And it's like, you know what it was? You ever get in a situation with somebody where you
you guys stepped to the same way?
Yeah, and it was like, get the fuck out of my way, man. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I'm sick of this, man. Yeah, but you can't push the camera, man.
No,
you just can't. Yeah. You just can't.
Grin and bear it. Get around it.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what you got to do. I mean, I always feel bad when I see the cameramen get knocked down, like when guys run for a first down,
especially
go out of bounds.
They're just standing there.
And you know what'd be the crazier part? You ever see a player knock down a cameraman on the sideline, and then they get help up, and they just step over the cameraman and keep walking? Like, God damn, you couldn't even help the man up? Like, damn, he wasn't even in your way. You just ran that way. Like, damn. But no, I mean, you're not wrong, Joel, in the sense of, I called this, guys. I told you guys laughed at me. Josh McDaniels just trying his best to go back home to New England. He's trying his hardest, okay?
That's why he took the job, right?
He's trying to make it seem like, hey, I'm not losing on purpose, but I'm also not really, truly trying.
I came here to fuck shit up, literally.
Yes, literally. I came here to ruin this franchise, so when I become the new head coach of the Patriots, I don't have to worry about the Raiders. They're still reeling off of losing everything. No, but I mean, look, they played well enough to win that game. Because let's not forget, the Chiefs had to come back to win that said game.
Yeah.
So the Raiders, are playing well enough to do it, even though the Raiders, I don't even know who the fuck their cornerbacks are. That might be the only team in the NFL that I'm like, who do you have as your cornerbacks, bro? I don't know any of you guys. But I thought they played a sound game enough to win. You know what it reminded me of, DIdge? Didn't we have this conversation when I said, man, the Chargers played well enough to win that game? And it's like, well, what was the neutralizer, Juwaan? Good old Travis Kelce. You thought I was going to say Patrick Mahomes, didn't you motherfuckers?
It should have been.
Travis Kelce came out here and picked up a dub.
I didn't know Kelce was throwing himself the ball, but
TDs, bro.
I don't be seeing who be throwing him the ball. I just be seeing him catch it. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, he's the touchdown leader in the NFL right now. You should see it.
And also, congratulations to Travis Kelce. I think he broke another tight end record or set another tight end record. Congratulations to him as he edges himself as being one of the greatest tight ends to ever play football. That number 2 spot is a really good spot to be in. It's never a bad spot to be in. But Prime, I'll go to you, man. What was this game more so? Raiders losing it or Chiefs taking it?
I still lean towards the Chiefs taking it. And the reason I say that, because I see them do this all the time. We saw them do it with Tyreek Hill. We're seeing it this year. They're doing it without Tyreek Hill. See, people have this thing in their head about the use of Patrick Mahomes and them coming just blowing everybody out. Mm-hmm. He's had more than his share of close games, especially within the division. Source and I were talking early Sunday when we got to this game. I said, you know what? I got Kansas City beating the brakes off the Raiders. But more than likely, what's really going to happen is going to be an exciting game decided by less than 3 points.
Right.
Just because we're thinking. And sure enough, is what we got, a 1-point game. But yeah, the Raiders have been playing hard. And then you talk about the last couple of weeks and how they have been playing better. Josh Jacobs, where's this Josh Jacobs been his career? The last 2 weeks have been crazy for him.
Yep.
but they're playing really hard. But I just think they just ran against the wrong team. That's why, I picked them, the Chiefs to go far in the playoffs because they've proven to you, whether it's by luck, whether it's by their own doing, they have the knack to win close games just as much as they do, beating you by 30.
Right.
And how many people was really sitting there thinking that when they went down, 17, nothing, that this game was over?
I thought it was one of those divisional games where the Raiders just had your number that week. It wasn't necessarily that Patrick wasn't doing anything right. It was just that the Raiders were doing everything. Anything wrong. The Raiders were just doing everything right.
Yeah, but think about it. They're that one team, especially early in the game. I feel comfortable with saying if we're talking, they could go down in the first half 20-0. And I might be still sitting there just like, well, you know what? It's Patrick Mahomes over there, Kelsey. This game ain't over.
That's the legacy he set for himself.
We've seen it too many times, But yeah, I think it's just more so. Yeah, the Raiders are just having a string of some bad luck right now. But I think pretty much it's just KC just knows how to put themselves in position to win this game. But I saw two teams playing hard last night. I love the respect between the two teams. What I really loved was at the end of the game, we always see the coaches go out to each other, and we always see the quarterbacks go out to each other. But to see Frank Clark go over, to Max, after the game, right. He called him out, yo, come here, I thought that was pretty great, man. But hey, they got to play again, so we'll see.
They do. They got to play my Chargers again too, motherfuckers. Anyway, DIdge, that call against Chris Jones.
Whew.
Are we starting to feel like because of poor Tua, the NFL is trying its best to get as soft as possible, soft as Cottonelle?
Man, I don't know what else you could call it because it seems like that overreaction has been insane the past couple of weeks.
Yep.
And I think it's like they're looking at it like, hey, you can't say we're not protecting quarterbacks now.
Right.
But it's gross to look at.
And to me, I think what hurt me the most watching that was Chris Jones made probably one of the greatest defensive plays I've ever seen in my life.
He had the ball.
He had the ball in his hand. I've never seen a strip sack to where he didn't strip him. He took the ball out of his hand.
The first player ever to get a roughing call while he has the ball.
Right. Exactly.
Like, it was insane.
Wild.
I had to rewind it like 5 times. I'm like, clearly I'm missing something. And
right.
I think he had the best statement of it. He's a 300+ pound man who's trying to take a quarterback down and get out of the way. What do you want him to do?
Right. Especially when you look at the way that play went, how do I position my body any differently?
Right.
Like, what am I supposed to tell my body? Hey, do me a favor. You got to bend ways you've never bent before. You're probably like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what, supposed to go like this so I don't land on you? No. And again, I don't think, because there is a difference between a player landing on another player. Shit happens all the time. And there's a difference between when you're tackling a player
and you're
putting all your weight to bury him down. That's not what that looked like. It looked like, honestly, if you look at it from like a freeze frame, he looks like he's trying to put his hand down so he can maybe keep running, so he doesn't go down and be considered down by contact. But to me, I just thought that was a very unfair play. And look, they did it against Brady last week with the throwdown. And it's like, if you tell me I can't hit him up here, I can't hit him down here, and now I can't throw the motherfucker to the ground, how am I? It's 2-hand touch efficient? Can I just tap him? Because I'll do that. I don't mind. I'll just tap the motherfucker.
Yeah, they said they're going to look into this again, but of course, it's not going to happen until after the season.
Right.
Of course, right. Yeah. Of course. Just like telling Bills fans after the loss to the Chiefs last year, hey, we're going to look into this overtime thing. Like, wait, now? No, after the season. Well, that doesn't do me no good.
Bills fans are the only ones who get that. Like, that happens that used to happen like once a year.
What?
The whole Bills, the way they lost in overtime last year.
It happened to the Chiefs against New England.
That's what I'm saying. I don't get why the Bills suddenly became the like. I get they're the most recent, But
well, no, it's more so. I think the reason why they put so much on it was that very rarely do games ping pong at the height that game ping pong.
That was
It was
crazy.
literally like no defense at all. So it wasn't even like, hey, a defense might get a stop here. No, it was 100% more so just
that's how it wasn't at Kansas City.
who's the last
game.
person. Oh no, yes, but I mean the reason why people made such a big deal about the Bills and the Chiefs was that game should have been ended by offense. You know what I'm saying? By the idea of whoever had, like, once the clock was done, right? Whoever scored the most points. That's what it was going to come down to. So I think it was just the height of that game. Just the idea of, like, bruh, they were just scoring at will. They were going to go to 70 if you fucking let them. But also I put that on the Bills because I don't think that should be a rule, and fuck the Bills for making it a rule. So there you go. But Didge, I want to ask you this before you get into your thoughts on the game. Do you think they're going to implement a Tua rule on how you are allowed to tackle a quarterback? Because remember, they did it for Brady back in 2008, right? Where you couldn't attack a quarterback going down. Are they going to structure it to where you can't attack a quarterback going up? They're really losing out on spots to where you can attack a quarterback. How do you think they're going to address this situation?
I honestly don't know, because the way that they're doing it now is a gross overreaction.
Right.
But I guess at the same time, I don't know what else you can try to say. Mm-hmm. I think at some point you just got to be like, football is a violent game. We'll do everything that we can. And we got to look at, once the quarterback is thrown down, what that means for him getting back into the game. Because Tua getting thrown down like that, it wasn't anything egregious. It was what happened after the fact. So it's let's
also hold the NFL accountable, right? And what I mean by that is Tua shouldn't have been playing from Sunday to Thursday. Man had a fucking concussion Sunday.
That's what I mean.
You allowed him to play Thursday.
It's that they're looking at it like, okay, we can basically make defense the scapegoats for our fuck up.
Right.
And that's a shame, because defenses are already so hamstrung, and you're trying to portray football as something that it's not, because again, football is a violent game. We've known that for years. And there are ways you can make a violent game safe, and then there are ways where you can just do a gross overreaction, and that's sort of seeing what they're trying to do right now.
Right. And to me, like I said, Tom Brady got tackled the same way Tua did. There was no concussion there. We just saw Derek Carr get tackled to a degree the way Tua did. No concussion there, as far as we know.
We're not even going to talk about the fact that Mahomes got tackled the same way Brady did, and nothing happened.
Right. So for me, I'm like, why is the NFL choosing? Because first of all, the NFL is looking at it the way they are because they fucked up. But the way you should look at it is, in football, there are these things called freak accidents. Could you picture if the NFL Prime, when Lawrence Taylor did what he did, could you picture if they said, whoa, we have to change the way football is played, right? Because this can't happen. Bruh, most people don't get injuries like that. That was a freak accident. That was a freak accident. So Tua landing the way he does, quarterbacks land like that almost every week, and we think nothing of it, right? The problem is when Tua landed the way he did on that Sunday and got concussed and went to the side and told them it's a back thing, not a neck and head thing. And they said, by all means, you're good for Thursday. His head was rattling around. So it only took a smidgen of force towards his head or neck. And that's what was going to happen. It had nothing to do with the degree of tackle that the guy gave him, you know? So for me, I just look at it and I'm like, that's a wild overreaction. And like you said, Didge, and you're absolutely right. Patrick Mahomes got tackled the same way as Brady. Nothing was called.
Mahomes might have been worse. Mahomes head hit. Right,
exactly. And what do you say to that if you're the NFL? Like what happens to that? You know? So to me, it's like y'all are never gonna fully call this down the middle. So don't try to structure it to make us think that you will when we know you're not. We just saw you didn't. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I just look at it and I'm like, bro, Tua was a freak accident. Make sure that teams do a better job properly evaluating players going forward. And let's just let them play football. Because you know what's going to happen, Didge, is that the softer you make the NFL, the more kids growing up think football is supposed to be played that way. And when they get their asses knocked out in high school and middle school, they're going to go, whoa, oh, Brady don't be getting hit like that. You're right. You want to know why you get hit like that? You don't generate billions of dollars for a specific team. So your ass going to get lit up every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I think it sets a precedent for kids going, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, they make it so, like, if I'm quarterback, I can't get hit here. No, that is NFL. You're a middle schooler. They about to light your ass up. They about to tackle you, throw your head through the dirt. You know what I'm saying? So to me, don't ruin the sport to try to enhance it. Because like Shannon Sharp said today, if you change the rules on how defenders are allowed to tackle you, you know what's going to start happening? You're going to start seeing Patrick Mahomes average 70 touchdowns a year, right? 8,000 yards a season, right? And virtually no quarterbacks throwing interceptions because the pressure won't be allowed to be as much, because the defender will have to constantly think, shit, I can't tackle him this way, or I can't tackle him that way. You know what I'm saying? Because Didge, you remember this as I pass it back to you. What was the story defender said all the time about Gronk? Why it was so frustrating to play Gronk. You never knew where to hit him. If you hit him too low, flag. You hit him too high, flag. But the motherfucker's built like a tank. How am I supposed to hit him? You know, that's why Gronk kept getting all these weird injuries, because people were tackling him at weird angles because it was the only way to hit him. So for me, I think you'll cause more problems than you'll fix trying to restructure the way that football is being played. But I'm sorry, dude, your thought on the actual game?
I mean, a lot of the thoughts were about just some of the crazy calls.
Right.
But outside of that, Patrick Mahomes did his damn thing again. And I think it's adamant to bring that up because a lot of people hate on Patrick Mahomes for no reason.
That's true.
You know,
yeah, that's true.
They talk about other quarterbacks as if they are better than Mahomes.
That's true.
They are not.
Not me. You're right. That's
yeah,
true.
you
That's
are
crazy,
one of them.
Oh wait, I was doing it. Oh damn.
Oh, you were one of them.
Crazy.
You're not the only
What?
one. But it's
What was I saying?
Oh, you said a lot. I think you said Joe Burrow might be better. And
What? No, Joel. Did I say that?
Sound familiar.
Nah, that doesn't sound like something.
You
Juwaan
wouldn't
would
say something so.
No, I remember saying that Patrick Mahomes was the greatest quarterback to ever throw a football. I remember saying that. I remember being on that bandwagon. I was like, Tom Brady who? It's Patty. It's Patty, okay? It's Patty around these parts.
But outside of that, it's crazy to see Travis Kelce with 4 touchdowns and 25 yards. Yep. That was the other thing that was my big thought. Because when I saw he had his 4th touchdown, I was like, he has to have like 150 yards.
Nope.
Then when I looked, and I was like, what is going on?
Nope. Their biggest problem was you were using Crosby too much for blitzing and not enough in coverage, because it seemed like Travis Kelce was just
that wouldn't
walking
have
open.
Helped.
No, just again, the best way to guard Travis Kelce is to become physical at the line.
Just to hit him at the line of scrimmage.
Right.
Okay.
Because he looked like he was wide open in most of those 4 touchdowns. Like he was just sitting back there, just waiting.
I swear, when I saw his 4th touchdown, I was like, did I miss every other catch of like him all these yards?
Like, it was the weirdest thing to look at, because you're like, first of all, he's wide open. Second of all, after the 3rd one, did you not say maybe a double somewhere in here? Like, we'll double him somewhere here. Right?
I don't know if they were afraid of.
They tried on one of them though.
They did try on one of them, probably.
Yeah, he just manned up.
Yeah. I don't know if they were afraid of Valdez-Scantling, because I know I'm looking at it now. He had 90 yards, so he was getting open. He was getting some catches.
Yeah, but to me, the problem with that is, Didge, is like when you're playing Julian Edelman and Rob Gronkowski, no matter what Julian Edelman is doing in that game, the only unstoppable force between the two of them is Gronk. You always double Gronk and hope that you can guard the receiver. But you sure don't allow single coverage against a guy that just walked himself open. He was standing back there like...
I get it, but that's something I can think of. And then the other thought was just Devontae Adams for his monster of a game he had, they
Mhm.
kind of kept him in check. I'm going to be honest.
They did.
He had
They did.
3 catches, and just 2 of them were monster catches for touchdowns.
Mhm.
So
All right,
those are my thoughts.
Last thing I want to end on, because I'm really curious about you guys' thoughts, and because of the fact that I might trade him. What the fuck is happening to Jamar Chase? What the fuck is happening to him?
You liked him too much. That's what happened.
You know, I think maybe that's my curse. So I think it's
Okay,
maybe I
bro.
start cheering for Saquon
Yeah.
Barkley and try that theory out.
Take it easy.
Remember
Do not cheer
I mean-
for Saquon Barkley. Take it easy.
Didge, we care nothing about you winning fantasy. But no, all jokes
I
aside,
care.
we care nothing. But no, all jokes aside, Prime, I'll start off with you, man. What's going on with Jamar Chase? Is it because Burrow, can't stay upright long enough to get him the football, or
Call him
does it
burro.
look like he's having No, this wouldn't be his sophomore year. This would be his 3rd year, right? I don't know what
Yeah.
the fuck you'd call it then. Why is he
Junior
struggling so
year.
much?
You can call him a
Yeah, but
junior
there's no
year.
junior year
I
struggles.
know.
There's no
There's
such
not.
Yeah.
What's going on, Prime? Talk to me. What's happening to Chase?
Third year.
Well, that could be with his sophomore year, right?
Huh?
No, he got hurt right away his rookie year.
That's right.
Yeah.
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 We were talking about this. You know, I was talking about this before on my show, and even before this week. And I don't know. Like, I don't know. It could be a combination of teams, having the proper defense against them, one man over, keeping one man on top and over top, and daring other folks to make plays. And in the past couple of weeks, that's what's happened. I mean, T. Higgins has had a pretty decent couple of weeks. Tyler Boyd sighting all of a sudden. Everybody pretty much but Chase. But I don't know. I really don't know. I know we played them tough. And in our particular game, I really got a chance to study that. But I really don't know. I don't know. I think it's a combination of everything, Juwaan. It could be the offensive line issue. Then he had to have a chance to not a chance for him to get downfield before he has to get it or go to a second or third read, quicker than he wanted to. I don't know. I really don't know.
It's weird because you look at him and you picture him to being one of those dominant receivers that no matter what you do, the man can always get yards, right? And he's not even mustering that up. Like Didge just said, it wasn't even like Devontae Adams had a phenomenal game. It's just the 2 plays he had were phenomenal plays. And I'm like, Jamar Chase isn't even giving me that.
I can
know
tell
what
you
I'm
what it
saying?
is easily.
Go ahead.
That fifth, what was it? What did they say that the Bengals paid for the offensive line? Was it 50-something million?
Yes, it was. It was.
Burrow's on pace to have more
sacks.
sacks. Burrow's on pace to be sacked more times this year than he was last year when the offensive line was the trouble. That's what the issue is. This money that they paid went nowhere.
I just want the media to look on Joe Burrow the way that we looked on goddamn Matthew Stafford. Bro, he didn't have a great line. His defense wasn't phenomenal. I want all these excuses used for Joe Burrow when people try to go, well, maybe he isn't that good. Well, when he hikes the ball, they part the Red Sea. So I don't know how much of that is on Joe Burrow or how much of that is on the fact that, and it doesn't help him, Didge? What does Prime always say he loves about his Cowboys, right? When Dak hikes that ball and you see Aaron Donald coming through, you got a brick-ass wall named Ezekiel Elliott right there. They got small-ass Joe Mixon that gets thrown around like a teddy bear.
No, you said he was the best. You said he was the best running back in the AFC North at the beginning of the year.
No. Talent-wise, as far as just running, yes. But blocking? Hell no.
I disagree with that.
Yeah, no, I think Joe Mixon best talent-wise.
It's
100%.
definitely Nick Chubb.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is
Nick Chubb nasty.
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Oh yeah, it ain't a
yeah,
question.
Yeah.
That ain't even a question.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what's crazy though, as we talk about, and I think about the conversation that you and I were having, Juwaan, when we were talking about, you were talking about Chase, and I was telling you about Justin Jefferson. So, Justin Jefferson has only scored 2 touchdowns, 2, right? I think it's 2. Mm-hmm. So, but what's crazy is he's still making an impact. Like since he had that monster opening game, then he got shut down. Then we're like, oh, what happened? He's come back with I think he's had 3 overall touchdowns. I think it's 2 receiving, but I think he has a rushing one. But anyway, they still found a way to get him the football. Over 140, 150 yards each of the last 2 games. Right. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're finding ways. Huh?
For who?
Come on,
Jefferson.
Yeah.
Jefferson. Yeah,
I thought you were talking Chase for a second. I was going to say,
no, the whole conversation was Chase ain't doing shit.
That's why I was so confused. I'm like,
no, because you remember we were having a conversation earlier at the beginning about him and Chase. And I said, "Well, crazy." I said, at least even when Jefferson's not touching the end zone, he's still busting you for 150 yards on the game. They're finding a way to at least keep him involved. Even they're handing the ball off to him now on some plays. He's coming in motion.
Yep.
But so they've been able to find a way to keep him going. I just don't know what's going on with Chase.
To me, I just think you need to move him around. But I think also what helped Chase a lot last year was his receiving core was, was healthy. It was, somewhat healthy a lot last year. So there's so many weapons you have when they are healthy, right? That you can't just focus in on him because anybody else could run you for 100, right? And I think this year with the injury struggles and the offensive line being as soft as Cottonelle, it's now just like, no, now I can just man him up. And when you can man him up, apparently that works.
Kirk Cousins been sacked 8 times. So definitely offensive line.
It also helps
time in the pocket
it also helps
look around and throw.
It also helps that when Kirk Cousins hikes the ball, there's a Dalvin Cook right there to be at least a body. You know what I'm saying? He's not being thrown around. Is Dalvin Cook bigger than Joe Mixon? Stature-wise, yes. As far as not being thrown around, yeah. I'm not saying I'm not saying it like this man's a tank. I'm not saying it like he's a tank, but you're not throwing Dalvin Cook around the way you can throw around Joe Mixon.
Let's just say there's less questions about the Vikings offensive line than the actual Bengals. And it was crazy as I was thinking, I said, here we are talking about what's going to happen, with Chase. And I'm thinking, well, there's a game coming. He's probably ready to break out. And then darn if they don't play the Saints this week. And if the Saints can't do anything else, outside of Taysom Hill, they can play defense, especially in that second.
They sure can. They are such a weird team. Those are one of those teams that are just like, you know what? We don't need, nor do we want a quarterback. We are going to get conventional. And it's like, okay.
It's in New Orleans, too.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, but
he going home.
Right after that.
The Falcons game?
There you go.
That'll be the one we circle.
That's the breakout. That's the breakout.
All right. All right. Our last topic here.
That might be a good 3 or 4 weeks. They go Falcons, Browns, Panthers, Steelers.
That might be food there. All right. Our final topic, because I think this is just as glaring as what's going on with Jamar Chase. Is it okay to just give up on Russell Wilson? Should we just give up on him already? Or what
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying not to let Russ cook. You just might need to get him a new cookbook. You feel me? Because they've. I think this is bigger than just Russell Wilson.
Is Russell Wilson full black? Is he full black?
Who, Russell Wilson?
Yeah, he's mixed, right? He's mixed. That's why you can't let him cook.
Yeah, okay? he's for about 20 minutes from where I am now.
Right now, he's not cooking with seasoning. That's the problem. He's letting that other half kick in. He ain't cooking with seasoning this season. That's what's happening. That's the problem. Where the seasoning at, Russ?
They're not gonna fix a lot until they fix that coaching situation too, though. Because
you think the problem is the coaching?
He's part of
the
problem.
Line. The offensive line isn't doing him any favors.
The offensive line?
Listen. It's proof in the pudding.
Okay.
They came in with one of the more promising. And granted, Williams got hurt, but one of the more promising running games supposedly this year. That wouldn't really materialize in the first couple of weeks.
Okay.
He has been under pressure a lot, and I'm not saying that Russ isn't at fault. I think Russ is definitely at fault.
Right.
But if you're looking at that coaching staff too, but the head coach, you got a head coach who's clearly in over his head. Not just that we see that in week 1. But it goes into he's looked confused in I think in week 3. they even had to go out and hire another coach who wasn't even on the staff to help with game management.
Mhm.
Like there is issues beyond whatever Russ is going through.
Now, I like that you said that because you and DIdge are absolutely right.
Hey, we were
But
wrong,
on the
by the
flip
way.
side of that, with what?
Russell Wilson is definitely full black.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell nah. The hell nah, he ain't. We ain't claiming that shit. Hell nah.
I just Googled his parents.
I tell you right now, I'll take Geno Smith before I take
No,
Russell
one of
Wilson
his,
right now.
I believe one of his. I think they listed him as bad, but one of his parents is mixed.
I don't. Yeah. I don't.
Oh, that could be true. I didn't think about that part.
Yeah,
One of
I'm
them.
sure.
Yeah, so he got what, 25%
I'll
in
look
there?
into it now.
But Didge and Prime, to your points, I'm glad you guys said that because neither one of you are wrong, right? But on the flip side, I watch Russ overthrow in the Colts game. I watch Russ look an open receiver in the eye and throw it.
He didn't look at him. He didn't look at him.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
You're talking about the one for the touchdown. He didn't look at him.
You sure?
He looked over here. I got to rewatch the play. I'm almost positive he didn't look at him.
Okay. Well, then that's even worse that you didn't have more than one read.
It didn't help. my statement definitely didn't help. But
I'll say this. Russell Wilson has been playing so bad this year, he's making me think to myself, well, wait. Maybe Jerry Jeudy isn't that good. Like maybe I overhyped Jerry Jeudy, and it's like
I definitely had those thoughts.
Man, no, maybe Jerry Judy's not bad. Maybe Russ is bad. Maybe Jerry Jeudy would be really good with Aaron Rodgers. Like maybe Jerry Jeudy would be better somewhere else, right? No, all jokes aside, it just what it looks like. It looks like Russ is starting to approach the Peyton Manning, where it's just like maybe it's just the game is past you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's not you're just horrible. You just don't have it anymore. You know what I'm saying? You ran a lot in your career. It took a lot of hits because you ran a lot in your career. It could just all be catching up to you. You know what I'm saying? But did you see the play yet?
No, I'm about to go pick it.
Did he look right at him and close his eyes and then throw it up? Is that what he did? But no, Joel.
Yeah.
Because this man was
I don't
almost
even
your
know.
quarterback. What are your thoughts on Russell? Yes, he was. The hell he wasn't. Yes, he was. If you had a change in regime while he was still still on the trade market, y'all would have pulled that trigger.
Denver, that's all that matters now. And they re-signed him for $2 billion.
Who would have thought we would be looking at Daniel Jones better than Russell Wilson? Anyway, Joel,
Exactly.
how are you looking at this Russell Wilson experience in Denver?
I do want to point out that apparently he did do like the genetic family tests, see how much of whatever he is.
Mm-hmm.
He is 62% African American.
Mm-hmm.
Or African, I'm sorry. And 36% European.
Oh, there we go. That European.
Probably, I would guess if you look at the father's side, maybe. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, his
That
He
European
never looked. He never looked.
His history is crazy. Like he's like let me see.
They'll list them in both as African American, his parents, but I would think it's on his father's side, I believe.
Yeah, he could trace his lineage back to like Charlemagne. I'm like, what the fuck? That's crazy. But yeah, no, that I don't know what the hell's going on over there. Honestly, I've been watching from a distance. I know they lost Javonte Williams for the season. That hurt me. But I don't know. Honestly, because I really haven't watched this. I know it doesn't sound like he's been playing very well.
Nah,
he is not.
And I'm not sure how much of it is him and how much of it is, like you guys were saying, the line, the coaching. I never appreciated coaching more than I have the last 2 years. That shit really does make a difference. That's some crazy
offense too.
It's I mean, to me, he has weapons, or at least receivers. It's like, and Gordon ain't bad. He's old, but he ain't bad.
He's fumbling.
But here's the crazy part. Part. That defense is legit.
Oh,
yeah.
So you're not even putting yourself in a position to where that defense can put you in manageable positions. You're playing so bad, the opposing offense is living on the field. So it's like you're forcing your defense to play way more than they should. Because if I told you a defense that talented and Russell Wilson is the quarterback and they're struggling as much as they are, you would tell me, well, something isn't clicking here. like something's not clicking. And the reason why I don't put much pressure on the head coach is Russ is a seasoned veteran. That means offensively, he's calling a lot of the shots, right? That was probably one of the biggest reasons he made Denver his home, was the idea of, hey, I don't fucking answer to anybody. That was why I left the old place. So I'm like, offensively, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, looks good.
Right now, Pete Carroll is going, even without the best record ever, we feel vindicated. I tried to tell y'all this motherfucker was doing
with Geno Smith.
I tried to tell y'all this motherfucker. Bruh, time out. Let's give Pete Carroll some credit, and I promise I'm going to get y'all out of here. Let's give Pete Carroll some credit. I looked at DK Metcalf's numbers for this season. You would think this motherfucker's getting thrown to by Patty Mahomes. This motherfucker's being thrown to by Geno Smith. And the motherfucker's having 100-yard games, 2 touchdowns. And it's like, what the fuck is happening to this world?
Good.
You know what it is, Joel? We shitted on the multiverse so much. We're now in one. Giants are good. Cowboys are good. Even without their starting quarterback, Jets are good. Like, what? I don't know what's happening. Like, everything's up and down. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Cats and dogs living together.
Right? Like, it's the weirdest thing ever. So for me, it's just, there's no excuse Russ has to play better. Because to me, I feel as though too many things go right for that team, and he is the thing that is glaringly going wrong.
Denver?
You know? Yes, in Denver. If you want to say it's the head coach and the offensive line, no arguments here. But they're not more glaring than his level of play. Bro, that one pass where he threw it like 50 yards to the other team, there was no Denver receiver for like 10 yards. Who are you throwing to? Like, and he threw off his back foot off the run. Just throw it out of bounds if you're going to do that. Like, he was, man. He really was. And it's so funny because my mom has an office pool. So she was like, who do you think is going to win, Denver or the Colts? And I said, the Colts. And she's like, why? I heard they were bad. I said, yes. But Russell Wilson has been playing singularly worse. And I thought that Stephon Gilmore could put the clamps on the side of a field for Russ and force him to throw elsewhere. And he has not been good throwing anywhere. And what ended the game, DIdge? Stephon Gilmore. So for me, that's why I went Colts. Not because of Matt Ryan, because trust me, that was one of the most boring fucking games I ever watched so far this season.
Yeah, that was awful. The fact that it was on prime time.
Bruh, and you know what was crazy about that game? Matt Ryan and Russell Wilson were saying to each other, who can play worse? And Matt Ryan was like, I can play worse. And Russell was like, no. I might got you.
Don't speak too soon. You got the Bears in Washington this Thursday.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Here's the difference. I am very curious to see. I am very curious to see when Ron Rivera pulls the plug on Carson Wentz and just goes back to the kid Taylor Heineke. I'm hoping it's that game. Because to me, I'd much rather watch Taylor Heineke. Much rather.
Heineke. They played well under Heineke.
They did, which is why I was very confused why they thought they needed a quarterback, specifically that one. Like, you didn't go from Taylor Heineke to Tom Brady. You went from Taylor Heineke to somebody that is playing like you expect Taylor Heineke to be playing. You know what I'm saying?
So they were getting confusing. Former MVP candidate Carson Wentz.
Why? The Colts didn't.
The thing was, though, he wasn't horrible with the Colts.
No, but here's the problem, Prime. If you're a Colts fan, what's your last memory as Carson Wentz as a Colt? Him shitting the bed against the Jaguars. The Jaguars you couldn't beat to get us into the playoffs.
Why are you saying Jaguars like that?
Because I want people to understand that the Jaguars this year are Jaguars. The Jaguars last year were Jaguars. They weren't good at all.
Jaguars.
They didn't even deserve their name.
I didn't like how you were saying that.
They didn't even deserve their name.
I didn't like that at all.
But no, so to me, I'll be fine with that game because hopefully Taylor Heineke is in there. So I'll be fine. I'll survive that one. But DIdge, to round this out, man, explain what's going on with Russell Wilson. Is Sierra not giving him the goodies? Like, what's happening?
Maybe she's giving him too many. And he's just like, let me get this done with so I can get home.
I just throw it anywhere.
I don't know. It's weird. Like I've never seen. I don't remember the last time I've seen, I should say, a player who just goes up and like, you know what? I'm just gonna suck now.
Outside of Carson Wentz,
I'm just gonna suck now.
He had injuries. You know, it was that. So I don't know. I mean,
I was never high on Carson.
I'm gonna end this as Russell Wilson loves to end all of his press conferences. Broncos country, let's ride. And hopefully that ride will be something that is a good ride and not like the memes that we've seen the past few days.
Yeah, his ride got a flat ass tire right now. He might have 4 flat tires right now. They ain't riding nowhere.
One of the memes they had, Broncos country, let's ride. And then it was like the ride and showed the Titanic.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
oh my God.
That'd be mean.
He's playing up to it.
He is.
Yeah, he maybe shouldn't have did that let's ride. Yeah, you can't get a catchphrase and then be this bad.
He created that catchphrase. I thought it was like the Broncos catchphrase. I just never paid attention.
Like, could you picture if the Ghostbusters in their song, it's saying, I ain't afraid of no ghosts, but the movie ends with them dying to the ghosts? It's like, nah, dog. Like, you didn't even live up to that shit. Like, you maybe should have thought about that before you went out there.
Maybe should have kind of afraid.
Yeah, you should have had a little bit of trepidation. A little trepidation.
Little fear goes a long way.
Well, you talking about troubled teams who've had trouble. So they play the Chargers next Monday night. So we'll see what, yeah, but
you know what? That might not even be a good game. The way that offensive line has been playing for Justin Herbert, the Broncos might get through and have a field day on his ass. So who knows? That might even go bad. That might be a sucky game to watch.
And my last thing tonight is one thing we do get to smile about, and hopefully it lives up to the billing. Y'all know who else plays next. So the Cowboys and Eagles will be one of the games of the week, but it's not the only game. You would figure in a lot of weeks that would be it.
Yeah.
You know what the other? You know who else plays next week, right?
Oh, for sure. New England and the Browns.
Come on, bro.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I shouldn't have cut you
Buffalo and Kansas City.
Buffalo and Kansas City is 4:00 game. So
who y'all going for? Because y'all was all on Patty Mahomes. So who y'all going for?
I never look. Let me go ahead and make it clear if I didn't to you before. And I got people one person that you know, Juwaan, that will back me on this. I was on Mahomes from day one. So I'm not.
I believe you. No, I believe you when you say that, Brom.
So I will only root against Patrick Mahomes if he's playing a team with the star on his helmet. That is the only time I ever root against Patrick Mahomes.
I feel you.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I would only root against Brady if he was in New England. If he wasn't in New England, so I've been rooting against him since he left. So I get it. It's the same thing. I get it. I feel you. What were you gonna say, DIdge? You were about to say something.
You really think I'm gonna go for the Bills? Like, why did you even have to ask me that?
I don't be knowing, man. I don't be knowing. Your judgment's been cloudy recently.
Has it? I feel like my judgment's been great.
Nah, you want us to not tank, and you see how poor we look out there? Like, what are you thinking? I don't understand. Why wouldn't you want greener pastures? Like, why do you want to keep living in this sucky season that we're stuck in? Get out of it.
One.
You said DIdge had a good one?
Joel got a big one. Big game.
One.
On
fantasy. Play Baltimore this week.
Oh, yeah.
They play who?
Baltimore.
Oh, that's going to be oof.
Baltimore.
Is it in Baltimore?
No, it's in New York.
Oh, baby.
It's a little better.
Joel, that's that game for Tibbs to have his coming out party. That's the coming out party for Tibbs. That's what it needs to be.
Every week he's getting closer and closer.
That's what it needs to be. If he could do that, Giants will be fine next week. Look, I'll say this, because you said that you felt good about your game against the Packers based off of how New England played the Packers, right? So just think of it like this. We were there with the Ravens until like the second quarter started, and then it just bursted wide open.
Quarter.
But yeah, so if you guys can make it past the second quarter.
Until the second half.
If you can make it past the second quarter, Joel, you're golden. You're there. You're right there. Neck and neck.
We've been down, I think, every first half. So it's not gonna be that different.
Maybe you could flip it. Play great in the second half and
I think we scored finally this this game. One of these.
Yeah,
games,
Mac Jones in the second half exclusively threw
the
to
Bears
Baltimore.
game.
So that was great.
It was
Yeah,
a
that
bad
was awesome.
second half that week.
And then he had the gall to get injured. Bitch, you don't deserve to get injured. You don't get to play that bad and then justify it with an injury. Hell no.
We do have a lot of former Ravens on the team because, Wink and all that.
So what do you think? That'll be like he'll take it easy on you because he sees friends? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I think that he knows the Ravens pretty well.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll see. All right. So it looks like there's 4 really great games. New England and the Browns, Giants and the Ravens, Cowboys and the Eagles, and Patrick Mahomes versus the what do they call them? Oh, Bills. That's what they call them. So I forgot. All right. So there's some good games. I can't wait to break them all down with you guys next week. Thank you guys for tuning in to an all-new episode of GVN Sports. Make sure you guys tune in this Thursday for our She-Hulk finale as we break down the finale of She-Hulk. I cannot wait. It's supposed to be great. But on top of that, guys, me and Joel will be giving you our initial thoughts of Black Adam tomorrow. It won't be anything long-winded or anything. It'll just be really good or really bad. That is all we can give you tomorrow.
If it's in the middle,
We'll call it down. We'll call it down the line. We'll call it down the line if it's mid. But stay tuned for that,
I
guys.
usually avoid that word, so no, you won't get that from me.
Oh, you'll get that. You'll get that from me for damn sure. But stay tuned, guys. We'll be putting up on our YouTube the Jenna Ortega clip that you guys see that we have going around Twitter right now. Also, the Cyborg clip or Jovian, I think is his name, right?
Yeah, Jovian.
Jovian Wade.
Jovian Wade. We also have that clip up, and we'll be putting up our Brenton Thwaites clip very soon that Sabrina got from New York Comic Con. So stay tuned for the clips, and then we'll be putting out the interviews as we get closer to the release of the shows. The full interviews with Luis Guzman, Gwendolyn Christie, and everybody else that we talked to this past weekend. So
pretty cool.
Till next time, guys. Peace.
Michael Possum for president.
I will not let that be the last word. Matthew Judon for president. There we go.